There we go.
Yay! I think, sadly, it only went live just at the tail end of the verses you were singing there, Kevin. You guys all missed it, but I got to enjoy it. So happy days for me. Hello, everyone. It's Kristi, and the person you heard singing as the introduction to the show is my co-host, Kevin. Kevin, how are you doing tonight?
I am Flight of the Conchords Taculus. Thank you for asking.
Your voice is silky smooth. You've had no dropouts, and you have yet to robot.
That's true. That's true. That's because I'm not in the fucking Stone Age anymore, which is good.
No, you.
But how are you?
Well, it's because you've gone hard, right? You've gone to a hard line.
Well, okay, but think about the sentence you said, and given the comedy sort of stylings we have on this show, asking the question "that's because you've gone hard" is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's why I asked it.
Oh, okay.
You're not.
Oh, yeah. Well, I am. I am in a thoroughly tumescent line. That is absolutely correct.
Yes, you are. Yes. All right. Anyway, so what was the question for me before you got distracted
Like
by my
fucking
hard
broom
line?
handle.
Yes.
Yeah. I just said, "How are you?"
Oh,
I inquired as to your well-being or otherwise.
I'm 5x5. Things are going well. It's Friday. I took the day off. I relaxed. I'm doing well. And yourself? How about you? You said you had a nap.
Yeah, I had a nap, and I'm just starting to wake up now, which is good because we're on air. So that's ideal, really.
Yeah, usually you want to wake up before you go on air, but I'll take what I can get. That's okay.
Well, no, I am literally awake, but I mean, like, I'm beginning to feel more like I'm actually awake rather than just
have your eyes open.
And I've just eaten. Apologies. So I've got a little bit of a potential acid reflux situation taking place right now. So I've just hiccuped, which is rather annoying.
If you get the hiccups on air, that would be amazing.
No, it wouldn't. That would be really frustrating because I'd be every other word. It would sound like I'm dropping out, but it would actually just be a physical inability to talk briefly for that second.
and I would giggle. I would giggle.
You would giggle because you are the worst person in the world.
I am.
So that
As we
makes sense. Really.
Right. So, speaking of worst peoples in the world, actually, YouTube sucks for many reasons. But this week, they suck because they can't make up their mind what they want to do. They don't communicate with people. They take down the wrong channels, and then they put the wrong channels back online when people screech loud enough. Is that about what's happened?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when people in their fan bases cluck loud enough. Do pigeons cluck? Is that a chicken thing?
I think that's chicken
thing. It's a bird thing. Yeah. Okay. Well, Black Chicken Speaks was taken off the air.
For multiple or severe violations of the hate speech policy or something along those lines.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is, I was surprised he was the first to be, or one of the first anyway, to be given the hoof, so to speak. It's very animal related now.
Yes.
Even though he does, he does. Yes. Well, and he does do hate speech, but he does it in a way like you can tell he spends a lot of time on his script working out what's the best way I can say brown people suck and are stupid and or slightly lesser than white people, but without actually saying that directly.
Yeah, how can I get away with it?
Well versed. Yeah, he's quite well versed in, like, he's not like your average Nazi propagandist in that they'll just come out and say, "Oh yeah, Jews, fuck Jews." Like, he'll say it's much more sort of under the radar. It's much more subtle. If only he'd use his script writing abilities for good rather than evil.
Yeah.
But anyway, he was taken down, but he was put back up, wasn't he? Like within a day.
12 hours.
12 hours, ridiculous. And it's worth bearing in mind that this is the motherfucker who got me initially my channel removed. Thankfully, I got one of the strikes removed and was able to then mothball the channel for like fucking 3 months. When he wrongly assigned me as being part of Lefty Poll, who were apparently having a flame war with 4 or 8chan or somewhere in the middle. 6chan. Is 6chan a thing? I don't know. Yeah, so or do you add them together to make 12chan? I don't know how this works, I'll be honest. Yeah, so he put that video out saying that I and Libertarian Socialist Rants were part of Lefty Poll, even though literally neither of us are. and it's and I don't want to be particularly. And then so I got named, and I took some semblance of pride from this when the 4chan group put out their like list of targets. I was at the top of that list, and I was like, yes, I'm literally. This was before I was officially knighted as king of, or officially enthroned as king of the SJWs. I was merely a prince amongst SJWs at the time, and so I was like, yes, I'm like the number one SJW. That's awesome. I'm the best of them. So I always knew I was sort of destined to be king. Really, it was looking back. You can see
the
the
sword
signs.
in the stone.
You know what I mean?
It was like the sword in the stone.
Yeah,
that was your Excalibur moment.
Exactly. It was fate. It was fate. That was like God was giving me a little wink, like, yeah, you're going to be king. It's okay, Kev. Calm yourself.
These motherfuckers
God's
are coming
real.
for you.
God's real. Okay. Bow down, motherfuckers. Anyway, God, that was weird. I don't know why I went that with it. That was slightly menacing. Bow down, you motherfuckers. Anyway, so yeah, he got that. We got my channel shut down. So, but I got it back, thankfully. But not in the way that he did. He just screamed loud enough, and YouTube just went, all right. Whereas I had to mothball my channel for 3 fucking months. Ridiculous.
Yep.
Anyway, so I wasn't feeling particularly sorry for him. Let's just put it that way. When he got shut down, but he got put back up anyway. But we're going to take a look at Sargon's fucking amazing video, and it really is. I mean,
yeah, I watched this because did you recommend me watch this, or I don't know if it just I might have just been looking for.
I tweeted to you just to say, and I just put 3 words underneath it: YouTube are communists. We'll see why I put that in a second. It's amazing.
Carl. Okay, I have to move my mic, so I'm going to mute myself for a quick second here.
So I'll step in and be like,
right,
you're back. Okay.
Yeah, literally, I just had to move it backwards, so it didn't have to go anywhere. We didn't do a sound test, so I have no idea how this is going to be, but right. So this was before, of course, he was reinstated, but Carl just has such I think what is the phrase? Pearl clutching that goes on here.
Yeah.
All right, so here we go.
So I keep warning everyone that.
Hang on, it's not on the screen. You've not put it on the screen.
Sorry. My apologies, everyone.
And we need to see Carl's absolutely glorious visage during all of this.
Must we? Must we? All right.
We do, because look at him. Look at him. How grey is that beard now, Carl? Fuck's sake, mate.
But picture him without it.
Well, even worse. But either, right, you've got 2 options here, mate. Either you shave it off and go au natural until it goes fully grey, and then you can have a grey beard and look distinguished, or just for men. Get some just for men, comb it through. It'll be jet black. You'll look a bit weird, a bit 1990s Kenny Rogers, but you'll look okay.
1990s Kenny Rogers. Wow, that's pulling an image from the vault.
Yeah, exactly. That is. I mean, A, that's dating me rather badly, and B, that's a reference for the kids, because we know the kids love a bit of old school country music references.
In the stream. Yeah, a little Dolly Parton, Kenny Rogers action.
That is what we are, to be fair.
Yeah, you're the Kenny Rogers and I'm the Dolly Parton. Don't quite have the rack.
Nowhere to draw the line. Nowhere to run. You got to find some money. Better at the table. Sorry, go on.
No, you're in a very
singing voice. That was some stuff from The Gambler.
I thought,
which is a tune that he made.
Famous.
Go on.
Yeah, I thought Kenny Rogers had stopped by the Hangout. All right.
I'm not saying he's not sat next to me, but I'm not saying he isn't sat next to me either. So
it could have been a mystery guest surprise.
All right, Kenny, you can suck it later, mate. Calm down. Jesus.
Lemon party. All right. So going on.
I'm not that old.
No, but he would be. He would be.
This is definitely a sugar daddy situation. This is not 2 old people doing stuff.
Okay, sorry, sugar daddy. You're right. I slipped. I don't want to mischaracterize the nature of your relationship.
I mean, there are a few people I can be like a weird little twink for, but this is definitely one of them.
All right, that's a good lead up to put smiles on your face in contrast to the nonsense Carl is about to spew. All right, here we go.
So I keep warning everyone that every one of the YouTubers that they like, that YouTuber's time on the chopping block will come, and today's was Black Pigeon Speaks' time. His channel's gone. It's not on YouTube anymore. They have deleted it. They have not given him a reason. They just did it.
Now, I'm not sure he knows that that's true, that they didn't give him a reason, because this was literally like fresh off the presses stuff. Like, he didn't know shit this time. So he's sort of guessing that that's what it was.
Well, I know that I think the count for that, the Twitter account, was tweeting at YouTube. So maybe somebody told him, or he has a new ban evasion account.
That's true. Yeah, maybe Black Pigeon Speaks did tweet out saying you haven't given me a reason, which still means he's trusting what Black Pigeon Speaks says, but whatever. Yeah.
Oh, but I mean, if you go to the channel, it says multiple or severe violations of hate speech guidelines. So actually, there was a reason given, just not specific videos.
Well, yeah, and not just that, but it's good that YouTube have now decided very quickly that there aren't multiple or severe examples of hate speech on his channel. Even though if you go and watch the Descent of Manosphere video I did about Black Pigeon Speaks, you can see loads just in there. And that I made that like 18 months ago. So he's made loads of videos since then.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, YouTube, either do it or don't do it, but don't do it and then undo it. Just like make up your minds.
That is worse than doing nothing.
It is.
It's much worse. It's emboldening the far right, thinking, well, if we just scream loud enough, we can get away with everything.
Exactly. And so every time now YouTube tries to do something, the screams are going to get louder and louder because they gave in one time. And they gave in on Hunter Avalon as well. I heard someone saying in a video.
Okay. I hadn't heard it got removed, to be honest.
Well, something about like when Hunter Avalon got removed and then people yelled and then he came back on and they did it again with Black Pigeon Speech. This was a video that I watched. So who knows? Okay. YouTube rumor. But YouTube suck. Anyway, I'll hit play.
500,000 people subscribe to his channel. Undoubtedly the guy's livelihood, and it's just gone.
Okay.
Welcome to capitalism. Welcome to capitalism. Exactly, You're fired. This happens in capitalism all the time, Carl. People are let go if they're not in unions. This happens all the time.
Yeah, and your fucking God King Emperor, Donald J. Trumpington III, has always argued that the laws surrounding having to give like a reason and possible severance pay should be completely. So you basically, YouTube is your heaven, seemingly.
YouTube are responding to market forces. And that's what happens in a capitalist market, right? They move to where the market is, and they move away from where the market punishes them. And you guys are trash in the free marketplace of ideas, so YouTube doesn't want to be associated with you.
Yeah, and
that's until they do.
Yeah, that's only because like Coca-Cola and McDonald's don't want to be associated with you, which is all they really care about.
And that's who YouTube cares about. They care about their ads sales. So this ultimately is not about left, right. It's about capitalism. This whole thing is about capitalism.
And he hasn't learned his lesson from the time when the first apocalypse happened, and his grand, fantastical, big-brained idea.
Just be nice to them.
Galaxy-brained idea was to basically be YouTube's best buddy and say YouTube did nothing wrong, and then they'd give you your money back. Again, Carl, you haven't learned the lesson that they don't care about you or us. They don't care about YouTube content creators. They care about big companies like not giving them money to put adverts mainly in front of like PewDiePie and Jenna Marbles and people like that. Like they don't give a fuck about me and you. We are very much expendable.
Yeah, especially to their bottom line, basically.
Yeah.
All right.
Don't know why either. Obviously, YouTube didn't tell him. They don't warn them in advance, and there is no method of restitution if you want to try and cooperate with YouTube. They don't want that because the problem isn't that you've done anything wrong. The problem is that you're making life difficult for left-wing activists by showing another side of the story.
Now, of course, the fact that they put him back up kind of undermines this narrative Carl's of persecution that he's trying to create as an alternative to the real reality, which is these are, profit decisions and reputation, brand marketing decisions.
Yeah, and if that were true, why wouldn't you and TJ have been removed by now? Because you've been doing this shtick for like a decade, near enough.
Mm-hmm.
So if that were the case, either you're not having any impact, which I dare say you wouldn't agree with, Carl, because your ego is almost as big as your brain. But either you're not having an impact or they're not actually doing what you're saying they're doing. But we're nearly at communism central, so
according to Carl, yes. As you'll see. Again, this now that he's been his channel's been restated. That's the word I was looking for. This all sounds even more like just a fantasy conspiracy of a right-wing deluded mind. This whole thing.
Yes.
So it was funny to watch it the first time when his channel was down, but now it's actually as funny to watch it to see how wrong he was.
Oh, some random gig just in the chat. I just noticed there, and I'm looking secondhand through the screen at you've got the chat up.
Yeah, because otherwise you ignore the
chat,
chat, right? Oh, right. Thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah, but anyway, but some random geek put up. Literally, I just mentioned, I did a video on the Descent of Manosphere about him, and some random geek, like the town crier of the YouTube left.
Yep.
Bang! There it is. Link in the chat.
Go watch that.
Awesome.
See what a POSB
and go subscribe to SRJ.
Yes.
Yeah, and go and subscribe to some random geek because they're awesome.
Yep. Okay, back to the less awesome, negative awesome Carl.
Yeah.
And that is preventing them from radicalizing people into communism.
YouTube is trying to radicalize people into communism. That's definitely that's definitely a thing that's actually happening right now.
He said it with a straight face.
Yeah, that's not a joke. That's not satire. That's him literally saying YouTube is trying to turn people into communists.
Seriously, how far right-wing do you have to be to see the sort of epitome of corporate capitalism, global corporate capitalism of Google, using YouTube to spread communism?
Yeah. Which, by the way, I love let's turn it back on him, right? Because YouTube always use their algorithm to push Sargon videos at people.
Right.
So, if that's the case, Carl, then you must be such a bad propagandist for classical liberalism that YouTube, who want to spread communism, let's remember, keeps recommending you because you're better at spreading communism than actual communists.
Well, he did take out UKIP.
He did.
No,
I mean, he's done more
not
damage
really,
to the right
but that's the narrative. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, he was a part of it. There's no doubt about that. Like,
definitely, but he didn't do it on his own. But I'm just saying that.
He was one of the main conduits through which Gerard Batten destroyed UKIP, but he was still that conduit. He was still that.
He was an accelerant to the arson.
Conduit.
Yeah, he was an accelerant to the arson of UKIP. All right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, getting back to the communist fantasy, shall we? I'll hit play.
This was his last video.
No. Kristi. Not communist fantasy. Communist reality.
Oh, right, yes.
Definitely.
YouTube.
This is a communist takeover by... I can't wait to see he goes so far right-wing that he says Donald Trump is a communist plot. That's the day we know he's like, literally, the people with the white jackets need to turn up and like carry him away.
Well, YouTube, they do have the red YouTube play button. Reds.
Oh
commies.
my God, it all makes sense.
The subscribe button is in red and the line turns red. It goes from white to red, everything. He's right.
But Kristi, look behind Carl on the wall. There's a flag with red on it.
Oh my gosh,
the
communism.
Communists are everywhere. They're everywhere. Run. Burn it all.
All right, I'm going to hit play.
Up yesterday, and as you can see, he was calling out Carlos Maza and also Becca Lewis, who did the Alternative Influence Network. This is them directly attacking.
Yeah.
It's really interesting if you scroll down for a second and just look at the links he's left under the thing.
Oh, yeah.
A political opponent and media rival.
Apologies. You don't have your headphones in. I just heard feedback. Put your headphones in.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Well, we got like 20 minutes in before anything, so... But if you look at the list... Hang on. Oh, no, sorry. No, it's not under the list thing. Later in the video, he shows a list of these far-right YouTubers and says, go and subscribe to them because he's such a classical liberal, including actual just out-and-out white nationalists. And a lot of those people are within the influencer network. So it's actually, if anything, you bringing that up shows furthermore that actually that YouTube Influencer Network report was actually sort of correct. There was a basis in reality for it.
Yep, I actually have the link. I just have to go to our conversation, so I can get this up here.
Yeah, you showed me the listing, didn't you, as well?
Yep, and I also went to the site and took pictures of it, so I just need to pull it up here. But of course, trying to find something in Google, I'm sorry, not Google. I've got Google on the brain, in Facebook, in the chat.
You've got communism on the brain, yeah, absolutely.
I do, yes. Well, I am the worst. Here we go. Right. I'll drag this over to the screen now so you guys can see it. Yep, this here. So this is it's the comment. It's his pinned comment, and he's encouraging people to go to the list of channels to follow each of them on BitChute,
which is like Nazi YouTube, basically.
Oh
no, that's not.
No, sorry.
Need to get shown.
No, sorry. Here we go. Wrong direction. There we go. So the first person on the channel is Tommy Robinson, then Sargon, then Infowars, then Mark Dice, then The Thinkery, then Crowder, Rebel Media, Sinatra Says, Wrangle Star, Jordan Peterson, Stefan Molyneux, Britt Pettibone. And it's just basically Faith Goldie.
Brittany Pettibone.
Yeah. Laura Loomer, Cernovich, Paul Joseph.
The number of like white nationalist types in here. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Awful.
And they like computing forever.
So yeah, that alternative influencer network thing was clearly like at least partly accurate, because look at the people you're listing. They're from that fucking thing, you twat.
Pat Condell, Michelle Malkin, Tim Pool. Yeah, computing forever.
Why's Tim Pool there? Tim Pool is a nice little centrist chap.
I thought he was a journalist.
He definitely is a journalist. That's true, Kristi.
Yeah. Oh, so entertaining.
He's not a far-right grifter at all.
No.
And anyone who says that is incorrect and needs to be put in the gulag, clearly.
All right. So continuing on, because we hear more about communism, guys. I don't know if you saw the description. Yeah. The communists claim another scalp. That's what he actually wrote.
Oh, just Carl. It's like I'm writing your scripts, because you're literally a parody at this point. Like, if I was to write a Sargon script but do it like in a slightly over-the-top, ridiculous way, this would be it.
Yeah, yeah. He's a parody of himself.
I can't make you look worse than you make you look.
Who talks about communists in the 21st century? Seriously.
It's ridiculous. And why not just that? But he's literally saying YouTube are communists.
Yes.
Like, that's so wrong. It makes my arse bleed. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with you, Carl.
No sense. No sense.
No, it's bollocks. Utter shit.
All right. Hitting play.
That is exactly what Vox do to Fox News, to Stephen Crowder, to all of these other, Tucker Carlson, all of these other outlets. But when it is done to them, they will exercise as much power as they can in order to simply silence you.
What can Vox do to Fox?
Nothing.
Fox is a massive company.
Yep.
And it's interesting that you're on the side of the little man, except when it's Fox News, and then it's, oh yeah, I'll support this massive multimedia fake news conglomerate.
Because they're
run
far
by
right.
Rupert Murdoch, because they're far right, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll support Tucker Carlson, who looks like just a confused, slightly withered testicle of a man. Like, he's just a weird... It's always confused. Look at, when the dog is confused by something, it can slightly tilt its head to the side.
He looks like a confused puppy. Yeah, or puppies are too cute.
Yeah, exactly. He's like a confused, very, very racist puppy.
So now I'm trying to think of animals that I would, say instead of like puppy or dog, and I was like raccoon. But now I feel like I shouldn't compare other animals to Tucker Carlson, because that's just mean to the other animals.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but we get
no matter how horrible an animal is, they're at least equal opportunities horrible. Whereas Carlson's like, Mexicans are making America dirty. Like, he's awful.
He is. All right, hitting play.
hate speech in Black Pigeon Speaks videos. In fact, I don't think he's ever used any hate speech because his videos are much more polished presentations. He's not speaking.
They are very polished turds, yes.
Yeah. Again, he writes it to get around the rules. So yeah, he's very careful with his dog whistles.
Yeah, as someone says in the chat, Tucker Carlson is basically Dankula's pug. Then, yeah,
yes,
he's a confused dog giving a Nazi salute because he wants treats.
Yes.
When I say treats, I mean money from Rupert Murdoch.
I can picture the meme of Tucker Carlson as the pug and Dankula teaching him to do Nazi salutes. I can picture it in my mind.
But instead of gas the Jews, it's imprison the Mexican children.
Yeah, they're doing that already.
That's what I mean. Yeah, that's his version of gas the Jews.
Right. It's a 21st century version. Yeah, of that sort of carrying out concentration camps and.
Yeah, they know they can't really get away with being like, "Oh, the Jews, what's going on there?" So they have to say, "Gas the Soros" or something,
All right, so I'm gonna hit play.
He's reading from a script, but anyway, on this subject, I'll leave a link to this comment in the description because it's a list of almost all of the deplatformed alt media producers, and a bunch of them who just are on BitChute now. And honestly,
Carl, I mean, I'm not on BitChute, but no one's standing for me. I've been demonetized. Ain't no one fucking standing for me, are they?
No one.
Where you at, bro?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where you at, bro? You haven't made a video fucking moaning about me getting done. Anything? And I know you know because I literally messaged you. No, I didn't say, "Oh, Carl, I've been deplatformed." We were talking back and forth, and look, it came up. That's what she said.
Yeah.
So that's but you're not. I don't see any of these motherfuckers on this list being like, "Why is Kevin Logan be deplatformed?" That's outrageous.
No, he's going to push he's going to push Mike Cernovich, and
raping Mike Cernovich. Yeah.
And someone underneath that, by the way, when you look at it, it says, "Don't forget Red Ice TV, Mark Collette, and Reverend Simon Sideways."
Well, that's very interesting. That we remember Reverend SS was hired by Carl to be, security on his weird tour, and indeed they actually toured the Southwest in that man's van/house. Yeah, that's a thing. And it's interesting that Carl didn't put him in the list initially. It's almost like Carl's realised, maybe that's not great optics to have Holocaust deniers around me. And secondly, it's interesting this person has allied themselves or has put Reverend SS in the list with Red Ice TV, openly white nationalist, awful shit.
Yep.
And what was the other one?
I forgot Mark the other one. Collette.
Mark Collette, who was also a white nationalist, who was previously the head of the youth wing of the British National Party back in the day. He became sort of famous for being. There was a documentary where he was secretly filmed going on about, and this horrible phrase upcoming, but he said it for wanting to kill the Pakis. Yeah. Now he may have changed in terms of being a bit more subtle in recent times, but his politics haven't changed since then. So that's the kind of company you're keeping, Carl. People who are absolutely fit in with the kind of company of Red Ice TV and Mark Collette. Well done, you fool.
And that's who he's pushing out to his fans.
Yep. Yeah. Oh,
go watch this content.
Look at the people that are in the list. Stefan Molyneux, who's now like going to Poland has converted me to white nationalism thing. Fucking Brittany Pettibone, who's married to Martin Sellner, currently under investigation for potential links to the New Zealand shooter and /all breaking laws in Austria. Who else? The Red Elephants, did I say there as well? Openly white nationalist. Various horrific people. Faith Goldie of the 14 Words fame. And of course, fucking Richard Spencer, literally having sex with Richard Spencer when she knew that he was engaged to be wed.
Oh, yeah, that whole drama.
So much for your trad life. Now, I don't give a fuck. You want to ride Richard Spencer, that's weird and disgusting, but ultimately, if it's consensual, fine. But don't preach trad life to me, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Don't you dare.
Yep. All right. So, these are who he is pushing out to his fans and followers and people who come across his channel. But he is, not far right. No.
No, he's a classical liberal. Classical liberalist.
17th century, 18th century liberalist. All right, hitting play.
Liberalists.
If you're watching this and thinking, "Oh, come on, it's not going to happen." Yeah, it's going to happen. Okay, they're eventually going to get rid of us all. So now is the time to go and stop this video.
Carl, don't threaten me with a good time. Jesus. Oh.
Don't tease us like that.
Exactly, that is.
Especially,
I mean, all I'm saying is I'm at half mast right now. That's
especially
all I'll say.
after YouTube has behaved. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's a lot of retractions they're going to have to. If they get rid of all of you, that's a lot of people they're going to have to kowtow to as well. So,
yeah.
Get rid of the YouTube bending the knee department's going to be very busy.
All right, here we go. Let's hear him rant on some more.
Go subscribe to these people.
Go subscribe to these people. Go to subscribe to Cernovich and Crowder and all of this. Oh, he's vile. He's promoting far right content, extreme far right.
Not just far right, but the likes of Cernovich he's an open rapist. The things that he has said, if we can believe what he has said about his own actions, he's a rapist. That's just a fact. Stefan Molyneux has said that women who are pregnant who want to seek an abortion, you should be legally allowed to lock them in a cupboard and force them to give birth.
God.
Like these are the kinds of people. It's not even just, I disagree about like economic policy or foreign policy or something like that. That's, I'm not talking about marginal tax rate adjustments here. I'm talking about vile people, the lowest of the low.
Yep. And he's promoting them on a channel that makes him no more money. Okay. Hitting play.
Don't rub it in. We of the demonetized community. We of the demonetized community need to stand together. Oh no, we totally fucking don't. Go fuck yourself, Carl.
No, I'm glad this is free. Okay.
Anyway, Brittany Pettibone apparently noticed this first, and Black Pigeon Speaks has tweeted at Team YouTube saying, "This must be a mistake. My channel had videos on history, urbanism, transportation, travel, festival, as well as political content. Please rectify this mistake, or please tell me what was."
And how, well, also he's missed off the one where it was like women destroy civilizations
because
they fuck people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not hate speech.
And literally him saying, he's such a weird ethno-nationalist because he was talking about how French women fucking German men during the Second World War. Amazing fucking thing where he was going, well, they're all white. But he was saying that the French women were betraying their tribe, he was saying, but didn't go on to say, but also the German men were betraying their tribe, because for every French woman fucking a German man, there was a German man fucking a French woman. That's literally how that works. So that's fine the other way around. And secondly, who sees French and German people as like intrinsically different, but yet also calls for a white ethno state? What lunatic nonsense is that?
Good point.
Yeah. Anyway, so there's that, and the fact that basically Muslims are constantly demonized, like ridiculously. But like I say, in a way where he's not like, "Oh, I think we should put Muslims in a concentration camp." Like it's much more subtle than that, and I have to give him some subtle credit or whatever, not credit, but you have to sort of tip your hat to the fact that he's clearly like a decent writer. He writes his scripts in a way that you know what he means, but you can't necessarily ping him on it according to the rules.
Yeah.
So that's like I say, that's why I was surprised that he was one of the first to be done away with, so to speak, albeit very, very, very temporarily.
Within the day. But okay, getting back to Carl.
The reason he hasn't been told why, because why would they? Why would they tell him why? They just want him gone. And so we have to rebuild from this massive and devastating attack.
One channel is a massive and devastating attack. Are you serious? He could start another channel, even if that one got shut down. Come on, Carl. Really, dial it back. Dial it the fuck back.
Yeah, this is real snowflakey nonsense. And also, note the way that he says, we need to rebuild. Yeah. So Carl very much sees himself in line with this ethno-nationalist piece of shite, who, by the way, is a white man living in Japan. Again, the cognitive dissonance with this chap is remarkable, but there we go.
Yeah, well, we talked about before we came on air about the pattern of anti-immigrant cis white dudes who live in different countries than the ones they were born in. Not realizing they are the immigrants. Yeah, the irony of that. Okay. going on.
On BitChute, at least, that seems like the best place at the moment. And it seems like the best place because of the automatic backing up feature of the fact that it automatically backs up content from YouTube with the owner's permission.
Well, this is why actually, just completely aside, nothing to do with Carl, but that's why I initially was going to sign up to BitChute.
Yeah.
Because they do that. If you give them permission, they'll automatically, whenever you upload to YouTube, it backs up the video on their side. So I was like, oh, that'd be a really useful little tool, even if you never like do anything else than just that on the site, and it goes, oh, you've still got that backlog. So if they did shut me down again, I'd have the videos. Because if you remember the rigmarole we had to go through last time, of me downloading all of the video, fuck's sake. But then I went on to BitChute and I was going to sign up, but I also saw the front page, and the recommended videos were really, like I say, when I describe it as Nazi YouTube, which is bad because there are lots of Nazis on YouTube as well, but this is like distilled Nazi YouTubia. Yeah, I'm not signing up for any part of that shit. And have you noticed, Carl, that you always end up on like Nazi Twitter and Nazi YouTube and Nazi everything because normal ones don't want you around?
Yeah, because you make yourself so obnoxious that you get chucked out.
Yeah.
If you just follow the rules like everyone else, you would still be on Twitter. But whatever. Okay. Yeah, so that noted, and also good to know about how bad BitChute is. Because I've not been.
Yeah,
so.
it's not great. Yeah. Well, yeah, most people haven't, but it's like a wash in conspiracy theory. Like in the video I did on the Christchurch shooting, the Centre Manosphere video, a lot of the clips from that came from BitChute because they were putting up stuff there that they realistically probably couldn't get away with on YouTube.
Right.
Which is why I was worried. I was like, shit, the fact that I'm putting this in there, even though I'm saying this is wrong and fucked up, would that be a thing that might be an issue? I don't think it is, though, because I'm clearly saying this is a thing that happened and it's wrong, rather than, oh yeah, these people are right about the Jews, because that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were absolutely convinced that the shooter was a Jewish chap, even though all of his symbology and all of the things he references were Christian.
Yeah. All right.
So that's what you'd expect from the communists.
Yeah, that's why you can't have it on communist YouTube. Right.
Yeah, CommyTube, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
You have to set this on your channel, but that means that people can still use YouTube until something like this happens, and then they've got a catalog of their stuff, and it's going to be really difficult to get rid of because it's sort of BitTorrent videos. Again, boomer, leave me alone, right? And this is important because of this article. Caleb Kane was a college dropout looking for direction. He turned to YouTube. It's called The Making of a YouTube Radical. And that's true.
No, time out.
Yeah.
No, we covered this in the last thing, right? Now, I know obviously you've seen this video, but I just want the chat before we go into this, right? Carl has taken this really quite interesting, largely very good piece of journalism about how a right-wing piece of garbage was radicalized by right-wing nonsense on YouTube, but was eventually sort of worked his way through that to becoming, a decent person. And Caleb Kane's not extreme by any means. He's like a centre-lefty kind of guy now, which is obviously much preferable to where he was. But he's taken this article. What do you think Carl's ridiculously hot take? This is like volcanically hot take on this article is going to be. It's amazing.
Yeah, so the chat can guess, and then I'll hit play. We'll see who gets it right. Or do you want to tell? Just let it roll?
No, that's just a thought experiment for the chat. I want them to think, what's the most ridiculous thing I can think of? Because I'm guessing most of them won't get where he's going to go with this, because this is amazing.
Also, does he have it cropped so that you can't see him? Because I think I see the top of Anita's head and the top of his head, but you can't see his face in this image.
I think, well, because I've seen various iterations of this, and I tried to get my friend, for those who don't know, for the last Kristi and Kev's happy hour, I put this image, but without the writing in the middle, as the thumbnail. And I tried to get the full image, and there were various aspect ratios which cut off either the two edges on the outside or the top and the bottom.
Okay.
And I couldn't find where it had like the whole image. It was really frustrating. But he does scroll down, so I don't know if he kind of pops up at some point on the screen.
Okay.
But
yeah.
So I don't know. He might have done. He might have cropped it in a suspicious way, but I don't think so.
Okay. We'll hit play and it'll become apparent as if he scrolls down or not.
There are YouTube radicals being made, but as Caleb Kane showed, he only ever became a conservative and then was radicalized into communism.
No. No, he didn't just become a conservative. He was an ethno-nationalist. He was a far-righter. And he got that way through people like Jean-Francois Garapé and various other far-right pieces of garbage on YouTube. And he's not a communist now.
No. He's not a communist because he's slightly left of you, Carl. Actually, he's probably pretty far left of you, considering where you've ended up lately.
He's to the left of YouTube, so if YouTube are communist, he's a super communist.
Yeah, so no, he's not a communist. He's not been radicalized to communism.
To be fair, Carl did read past the headline, but I don't think he read the whole article. I think he just read the bit that someone showed him. Maybe V does these things for him. I don't know. In between, walkies and treats. But I got to get a little dig in at V. Anyway, but he reads a bit down below where he goes on about BreadTube, which and then makes a remarkable claim about reading a book that I'm almost certain he hasn't read.
Oh, yeah, I know exactly what book you're talking about. And also, I noticed that he didn't look at all at the data that we looked at. So in the happy hour last time, we looked at how much content he was watching and of what type. And you remarked that basically, except for 2 months out of 15 months that he had data for, 2 months out of all of those had a majority like left-wing content. The rest were majority right-wing content. He actually went back to right-wing content after he did that sort of like, what do you call it, binging lefty content.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, so just remember that from the last show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see what Carl focuses on here.
And they do this using a particular network that I think is worth pointing out. They give us a breakdown of the pipeline into the radical left, and it begins with Destiny, incidentally, who's a sort of center-lefter. I imagine Kyle Kalinske is also in there.
It's sort of funny because Destiny also showed up on the Influencers Network. So maybe just Destiny has a crazy amount of crossover because he just streams so much.
Well, exactly. He'll stream with anybody. So, yeah. Like, I don't, well, yeah, that's basically.
It's kind of like the crossroads of YouTube.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And interestingly, Carl scrolls down past like 3/4 of the article to get to this bit. So he goes in about they show the pipeline to the extreme left. No, they don't. But also the first 3/4 of the article is them showing the pipeline to the far right. But he's going to ignore all of that and go down to one paragraph where they talk about BreadTube.
Yep.
Okay. That's not propagandistic nonsense at all, Carl.
No.
That's really honest.
Because Carl's always honest. He never misrepresents anything.
No. This is entirely a good representation of what was in that article. Honest.
No cherry picking whatsoever.
No.
All right. Well, here we go. The HUD play.
And then he finds ContraPoints, who's quite radically left, obviously, and keeps going down until they find something that he calls BreadTube. Now, this is communist tube. It's a reference to.
But you think YouTube is communist, so what the fuck do you even know? And by the way, not everyone in BreadTube, and that obviously is a relatively ill-defined thing anyway. But not every person in there is a communist. There are communists amongst them, but it's not like universal.
No, it's various left people, but it's not like you have to be a communist to join. In fact,
and there's no such thing as joining, really. It's just a thing, isn't it?
It's like the skeptic community, right? But
or the IDW, it's just a thing.
Mm-hmm.
You don't pay a subscription fee or something.
Do you think he's going to read out the part BreadTube is still small? Do you think he'll read that out?
I don't think he's going to read that bit out, even though it's on the screen. I think,
even though it's right there on the screen. All right, let's see what he says.
To the left-wing anarchist Peter Kropotkin's 1892 book, The Conquest of Bread. I've read this. Peter Kropotkin.
No, you haven't. Honestly,
no,
Carl.
that is a lie. I'm just straight up. I'm not even going to say like I don't think you read that. I'm going to straight up call you and say, nah, bullshit. You did not read that at all.
An 1892 book
1892, which by the way is a lot more advanced than your philosophy, which is like 150 years older than that. So that's bad when you're citing something from 1892 and it's actually significantly newer than your shit. Grim.
Yeah. Also, okay. Yeah. So the phrase came from a book.
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily mean anything. It's just a phrase that came from a book. To say that, oh, because they use this phrase, it means they're all communists. Please, come on.
Yeah, exactly. It's like saying that anyone who uses the phrase "catch-22" fought in the Second World War.
Yes.
No, that doesn't mean anything, Carl. It's just a phrase.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for a start, I'm guessing most people in BreadTube probably haven't read Conquest of Bread because it's like a relatively dry, dense, late 19th century book about economics and stuff. So, like most people who believe in evolution have not read Darwin because it's an old, dry Victorian book. Like it's not that relevant. It's just like a fun way of describing a thing rather than saying, like, some people do say left tube, which is fine, I suppose.
Yeah.
But red tube just sounds cool, and because it rhymes with red, we can say that we're bread pilling, which is quite fun as well. That's an interesting little linguistic quirk for you. It doesn't mean that people. And again, not everyone in BreadTube is an anarchist. I'm not an anarchist, and I think a lot of people would consider me BreadTube or whatever you want to call it, and I'm not an anarchist.
I've noticed.
Other than the Conquest of Bread, I've not read anything by Kropotkin. So
Yeah, this sort of guilt by association fallacy. I've noticed PragerU videos do this a lot. Like the one I just watched on the last Sunday show or the one with Dinesh D'Souza. They kind of blend together. I can't remember what week to week, which
yeah, exactly. So you're saying with Dinesh D'Souza, you can't tell Asian people apart?
No, I can't remember which week it was, but was it last week or the week before? But anyway, he wanted to basically associate something with fascism with socialism, because some guy who was a philosopher with Mussolini, whose name escapes me now, was at one time a socialist. And it's just like, but that has nothing to do with fascism as it was practiced or enacted or what we're facing today. But they just kind of take you along this story of a connection to a communist. And then they just go, oh, there you go. But that's just a story. Like, you've literally demonstrated nothing except kind of like 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. So what's the point here?
Well, on this, well, that's the thing. It's 6 degrees of Kevin Logan now.
That's what it is.
Because I'm so famous. Actually, I think, did you? This is completely unrelated, but I just wanted to talk about it anyway.
Okay.
Did you see someone posted this in our Facebook group, which, by the way, you should go and join. The links below.
Everybody. Oh yeah, and also if you never want to miss a happy hour, hit the notifications for my channel and Kevin's channel, because we do these things randomly. So click the notification thing.
Sometimes you'll get like 2 hours notice at most. Sometimes you'll get a day or so.
Maybe
but sometimes
a day.
Not.
Maybe 12 hours. Maybe 6.
So anyway, but someone in the Facebook Facebook happy hour group, someone posted there's a video from the non sequitur show thing. Did you see that?
Sorry, no, I didn't see
Kristi.
that video. Yeah, no, sorry, I didn't see that clip.
Oh, okay. Well, you should definitely go and watch afterwards.
Okay.
It gets quite nice.
All
Anyway,
right.
the non sequitur show, shithole dumpster fire of a thing. Sort of atheisty science show initially, now turned into a kind of transphobic shit show.
Was it the show or was it the hangout about the show? I watched the hangout about the show.
Well, no. Oh, no. Well, this was, but technically neither. Because I've seen the hangout thing where they're describing the kind of financial fuckery that's been going on.
Yeah.
But then what happened was, before they were due to go on air, they joined it was like an off-air chat about what was going on and who was accusing who of what and who's got whose money and so on and so forth. And they get very, very. It's reminiscent of IBS.
Ooh. Oh, okay. Well, I definitely have to go after the show and check that out.
It gets shouty. There are accusations. There are fuck yous thrown about.
Oh, my goodness.
It's very, very fun. But anyway, What made me remind that of that was when I said I'm so famous, is that they were literally going about. At one point, he goes, "It's not the fame that's got to my head. What fucking fame? You've got like 50,000 subscribers. No one knows the fuck you are.
No. You're barely something
Look,
on YouTube.
even if you've got like 1 million subscribers, that's not that much. Like that's still, and I'm not dissing. Obviously, if you get 1 million subscribers, you've done very well for yourself, and you can earn a handsome living.
Yeah.
But you're not famous. Like even PewDiePie isn't really that famous, and he's got fucking tens and tens of millions of subscribers.
Yeah.
So the idea that this motherfucker with 50,000's like, oh, it's not the fame that's gone to my head. Yeah, we know. It isn't real. Like, Jesus Christ. And that's the thing you'll notice. There's such little fucking petty backbiting fucking ridiculous. It's a lot of fun. You will enjoy that one, definitely.
All right. I will have to go to the Facebook group, which everyone, if they want to see the clip too, you should go and join the group. Just search for it as a public group on Facebook and look for the said.
And by the way, indeed, go and follow the fucking link and subscribe and all that shit. Or go and join the group. But the beauty of it is the guy from the Hangout who was like, I've got 50-50 in perpetuity, so on and so forth. He was the one that recorded that conversation and put it out there.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's like so much backbiting, like fucking like an old woman's bitchy fucking sewing group.
You know, the thing is,
and horrificness. It's so delicious. God damn it.
I listen to the shows where people are talking about Ralph and Andy and Coach Red Pill and cognitive thought and all that sort of stuff, and there is this comparison. These guys are being as bad as usually it's a group of women, but honestly, it's men who do this as much as, if not in some ways more. So yeah, it's just like it's a gender stereotype, but honestly, it's more. I see it more often in the breaking than in the the usual, but. So maybe it's just because it's on YouTube and they're all doing it, and so we can see it, and it's very entertaining. But
yeah, in many respects, that's true. Yeah, and when I say that, it's just because that's a phrase. Like
it's a stereotype.
Gossip sewing circle, right? So I don't. But yeah, okay, that's fair play. Shut across the bows. But yeah, so it's like a men's sewing circle.
Yeah, bitching circle. I guess.
Yeah, and it's true. They're kind of YouTube doing its thing, or YouTube being more what's the phrase I'm looking for? But just being more accessible or whatever. That it's shown that actually, when push comes to shove, men are actually significantly worse in many respects.
Yeah, because it's so aggressive. I mean, So and escalating the violence,
the tiniest slight against their manhood, and it's like, fuck you piece of shit. Really aggressive. It's and so much fun.
Go on and on for weeks about it, right? Ugh. Okay.
Well, like certain hosts of let's say let's mask it and say the Ribble Be Loaded. If you were one of the hosts of that show and you were still bitching about stuff 2 weeks later because you're a petty little man-child, then I mean that would be an adequate example of something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Fake.
Shade. Ooh, it's shady around here now. The sun go down? All right.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me hit play.
Is a radical communist. He was a revolutionary, and he was absolutely not
to be fair,
centrist moderate.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't a centrist moderate, but it's bizarre that you think you're a centrist moderate, Carl. Yeah, that's the one time he's called someone a communist in this and being correct. Well done, Carl.
But we still don't believe he read the book.
The motherfucker's been dead for a century. Yeah, you haven't read the book, but the fact that he's been dead for a century and yet he's the only one you've actually accurately depicted as a communist. I mean, in a way, well done, but also still fuck you.
But also, I think he's just sort of like when you throw, everything, spaghetti against the wall and hope it sticks. I think this is just random luck. I think he just called if you call enough people communist, eventually you're going to be right.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Even a stopped communist clock is right twice a day.
Yes. Today is the day for Carl. All right, hitting play.
Yeah.
And this and Philosophy Tube is also a communist.
Is that a little bit of a smuckle? A little bit of a smuckle there?
Oh yeah, Smuckle Man.
Oh.
Yep. Okay.
These are, and literally says, what, he found the British channel Philosophy Tube where he posts videos like transphobia, racism, and Marxist economics. They are packaging revolutionary communism and using and radicalizing young men like Caleb Kane.
That's radicalizing.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, Philosophy Tube is a Marxist, I believe.
Yes.
And that's okay. That's not something I agree with, but they're not exactly like pushing him to crazy extents. Like, he's got way, way better production values and script and stuff. Like, if you actually go and watch his videos, they're lush. Even if you disagree with everything he says, their actual production values are fantastic. And yet they don't push him as much as they push you, Carl, and you do nothing. You put no effort into your videos whatsoever.
Also, it's completely possible to see validity in Marx's critique and not be a communist.
Yeah. Well, exactly. Yeah, I think his critique of imperialism, for instance, is actually very worthwhile. But that doesn't mean I'm a Marxist in an economic sense. But yeah,
yeah,
and there's no doubt that from a historical point of view, this is the thing when he was going through his let's ban social justice courses thing.
Yeah.
Well, actually, you can't. Does that mean just stuff that sort of teaches Marxism? Because actually, Marxism was an enormously important philosophical school. It could, what?
Yeah.
You can argue as to whether those countries were actually Marxist, but the at least nominally Marxist countries covered like a third of the globe. Well, that's a really important part of history in the 20th century and indeed the 19th century to a degree. So, like, you can't ban that. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, you can't pass a course or, you can't have a degree in economics and not have been exposed to Marxist critique.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because a lot of, there's a lot of things about Marxist critiques that capitalists have taken on, and capitalism has adapted in order to preserve itself as a result of Marxist critique. So it's part of the history of capitalism as well.
Yeah, I would argue that social democracy, the social democratic reforms of things like the NHS, were capitalism giving enough to dissuade people away from Marxism. That's capitalism using the lessons that Marx taught in order to protect itself from potentially out and out Marxism. So again, the impact that Marx's writings and indeed people who came after him that were in the Marxist school, not that Marx had a school, but you know what I mean, the Marxist stable of theoreticians and philosophers and economists had an enormous impact. Just an immeasurably huge impact, much more so even than maybe people like Adam Smith.
Yeah, I mean, Marxist critiques are still valid. Adam Smith is interesting to read as economic history, but he's not relevant in the way that Marxist critique is still relevant today, because capitalism is fundamentally the same structure that Marx critiqued.
Yeah.
So, so anyway, I don't know where we got all of this because that's because he put Marxist economics in a video title. That's so sexy. What clickbait.
Yeah, exactly. They're radicalizing you by teaching you various schools of economic thought.
Ooh, run for the hills.
Yeah, whereas you're okay with those other people who have literally said that, black people need to be removed from white countries.
Or women destroy civilizations.
Yeah, exactly. Women need to be like literally locked up and kept completely under control by men.
That's fine.
That's fine. That's not violent. But teaching about a different school of economic thought, that is absolutely communist indoctrination.
Yeah. Revolutionary communism. All right.
Exactly. I don't even know if he is a revolutionary communist, because you can generally
Marxist.
agree with Marx on a number of things, but believe in democratic ways of doing that. There are democratic communists or democratic socialists. That's fine. You can do that. So the idea, I don't even know. Maybe he is. I can't speak for.
There's a lot of different types of Marxism.
Yeah.
Of Marxist, thought and the way that it's been applied. Indeed. So.
Indubitably.
All right, hitting play.
Who's just saying, I was radicalized into communism because I watched some.
No, he wasn't. No, again, this is what I mean by the hot take, everyone. He was literally said, I was radicalized into being a Nazi, and now I'm not a Nazi. He isn't a communist, Carl.
Kevin's talked to him. You can come on the show and ask Kevin what he said.
Yeah, I literally asked him, how would you describe yourself now? And essentially he was describing himself as a social democrat, really.
Yeah.
Which is essentially a sort of soft capitalist, really.
Well,
Like a nice, fluffy capitalist.
Isn't that what Carl claims
fine.
he is? Because he doesn't want to get rid of the NHS, so he's like a centrist.
Yeah, but he keeps supporting people like Jacob Rees-Mogg who do want to get rid of the NHS. So again, this is the thing, Carl. If you actually support these things, why do you continually support every candidate who doesn't?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
All right, so hitting play.
And that was censored, and the YouTube algorithm promoted loads more far left stuff because the far left had been whining at YouTube, which is how Carlos Maza
That isn't true.
Not true.
Right, the fucking algorithm pushes far right shit all the time, Carl. That's the only reason anyone ever watches your shit.
Yeah, he's going to notice the difference when now he's not part of the AdSense being promoted by YouTube anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And again, the last line in the article that you can read is, "BreadTube is still small. Ms. Wynn, the most prominent figure in the movement, has 615,000 subscribers. Only a small fraction of the."
Yeah.
Come on, Carl, we can read. All right, hitting play.
Thousands of people deplatformed and thousands more channels demonetized. Massive channels like Stephen Crowder's, right? This is pretty shocking stuff, and it's not politically neutral, right? And so when Paul Joseph Watson, myself, and presumably...
Yeah, but I mean, I've been demonetized, Carl, so it's not like entirely, just the right wing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
He's talking such shit. And he so didn't fucking read Conquest of Bread. Because we know, Carl, the only book you've ever read is your Bible, Starship Troopers.
Yes. He read that cover.
Even though you have read that book, you still fucking misunderstood it. You twat. Fucking hell.
All right. Oh, yeah, now we're going to get to the BBC conspiracy. So.
No, yeah, the British broadcasting communists.
Yes, everyone's a communist.
Okay. As well, receive an email from the BBC. I think Paul Joseph Watson's right when he says the BBC is about to follow in the footsteps of the New York Times and do a big hit piece on YouTubers. I've got no doubt that they are. I think that this is very dangerous.
They already did one on you, didn't they, Carl? Because you were the only motherfucker who turned up. And they basically said, he's having a Tory midlife crisis, and we're seeing it literally play out in front of us in this video.
This is, yeah. All right, so I'm going to hit play because this is just, I'm too mind blown right now to process this. So I'm going to need a little bit more time, and then I'll come up with my comments. All right.
Because I think that they are looking for reasons to deplatform everyone.
So he's saying, oh, yeah, that's it. It was like the BBC is coming after them because they don't like them, as opposed to just reporting on what they do.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's it. I don't know how else. I don't know that I can add anything to that. That was a perfect summation.
Okay. I just needed to process. I needed to buffer for a little bit before that sentence was coherent. Right, hitting play.
So, like I said, seriously, go on BitChute, and just as a backup to your favorite alt media channels, and trust me, like, it's not just going to be like right wingers. There are centrist people on this list too, and there are sort of people who are not.
Hang on, time the fuck out. Who on that list is centrist?
Really? No one.
Yeah. There are no people on that list that are centrist. I mean, I know you would classify yourself as centrist, Carl, but that's because you classified the BBC as communist.
Right. And YouTube.
Yeah. Well, they are. The British Broadcasting Communists. It's official.
Okay. Bolshevik. Yes. All right.
Yeah, the Bolshevik Broadcasting Communists.
Yes, the communists. Has to be the communists. We need to keep that going. That's so good.
Yes, that needs to still always be a thing. Yes. John Tron, you fucking idiot.
The communists. I love it. All right, hitting play.
Not really. They're just in the alt political spectrum. They're not even politically like. They're not even like people who are necessarily taking a side on this stuff.
I was about to say for a second they really stood. Yeah, Carl, use your big boy brain to put sentences together. Would be good. because that was stuttering over and then going, they're not taking a side on these things. Who? What are you talking about?
Yeah. Tim Pool, who went to stand for you on the Joe Rogan show, is definitely not taking any sides of the right wing.
No, definitely not. He's not sucking off every far right piece of garbage you can see. No, not at all. Not at all. He wasn't sat there listening to Alex Jones explain that when he was 14, a 17-year-old girl sort of tried to rape him when they were high, and she ended up choking him out. That was a thing that happened. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
It's not. That's not. Yeah. There's not. You don't need to comment on that. That's just a thing that happened. That's a normal day in the life of Joe Rogan.
So Carl is again trying to claim these people are in the alt space. You know what the alt space is? It's the alt-right space, Carl. That's what that is. There's no other alt space except the alt-right space. There is no alt-left. There's just like the progressives and degrees of, leftness, but there's not an alt-left. There's just the alt-right. Okay.
No, there is, because Trump said there is, so there must be.
Oh, yeah. I forgot.
If Trump said it, it's true.
If only he'd talk about Gamergate.
Very recently when he said, wow. I think what we're seeing now with these deplatformings is the inevitable result of the people of the Southwest falling to communists by not supporting Carl.
That must be it.
I think that's definitely true.
That's what's happening.
I mean, if he'd been elected, none of this would be happening. He'd have saved everything now. The West would be saved.
It's so weird to me. I feel like I'm watching a 1950s movie when they're talking about the communists, I just like, what are you talking about?
I feel like a genuine. Well, it's very Starship Troopers, because obviously the bugs are stand-ins for communists. So he literally is sort of like, the communists are everywhere.
Yeah.
No, they're not.
He seems to see them everywhere. That's for sure. All right, we're almost to the end. There's only
he doesn't see Nazis anywhere, which is very telling.
No. That's just people joking. They're not being serious.
Yeah, they're just joking. Oh, did you? Oh, I don't know if I asked you this, but did you see his video on Joe Brand?
No, but we can watch it after we watch the Joe Brand thing, because that's next.
Oh no, it's too long. We'll be here all fucking night. It's like 17 minutes, and you need to stop every 4 seconds.
Pretty much with you.
And that's not even a joke. At times, it would actually be like 4 seconds. Hey! Yeah, but it's only lasting 8 seconds, so there's only one stop. It's fine. He compares himself to Emmanuel Goldstein, the figure from the 2 Minutes of Hate, who's sort of a stand-in for Trotsky, basically, in 1984. He tries to make it entirely about himself, because Joe Brand had a go at him on Have I Got News for You?
Yeah, we're going to watch
not the one
clip
that we watched.
No, I've got the clip.
Are we?
I've got
the
clip.
Have you? Okay.
I do.
Okay. And so he goes on about now she's being manipulated by the right, by the media against him for some reason, even though this has got nothing to do with you, Carl. She did a joke that some people didn't like, including Nigel Farage. Yeah. Snowflake alert.
Yeah.
Also, what about the free speech? What about the free speeches?
Yep, except, yes.
He makes the most hypocritical bullshit arguments about your enemies aren't just there to hate. Well, you've literally made videos saying feminists are mentally ill.
Yeah.
Fuck you. And Gerard Batten came out and was disgusted, outraged he was by Joe Brand making this joke, even though he literally spent the last month fucking bailing your ass out.
A joke.
About jokes.
And free speech.
You fucking morons.
And free speech.
Yeah. Yeah, ridiculous.
Hypocrites. Okay, hitting play.
Yeah.
Try to get to the end.
Anyway, I really do think this is wise to do now, since Black Pigeon Speaks had 500,000 people or so subscribe to his channel. They don't care.
Then, like 480,000.
Okay.
But again, Carl, don't bother doing research, mate. That's research.
Why be accurate?
So don't bother.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Not here for justice.
He's anti-communist as much as anti-research.
They're not here to treat you like a human being.
Yeah.
They're here to treat you like a problem.
Yeah, welcome to capitalism. Labor is a problem for the owners of the means of production, and they'll fire you. Welcome to capitalism again. I'm not shedding any tears. People get fired all the time in the real world.
Also, I think it's
without cause.
Yeah, I think it's so funny that these anti-union motherfuckers are like, we should get together a YouTube union. No, I'm in a proper actual union. It's fine. I'm good.
Yep. All right. Oh, so I already downvoted this video. All right.
Because the communists are making it this way. So I keep warning
I'm sensing a theme here, Kristi. I don't know if you picked up. I'm sensing a small theme developing here of
communisty kind of theme.
Communists or something. I don't know. I don't want to put words in his mouth.
No.
His stupid mouth. And you've gone back to the start for some reason.
Oh no! All right, I think it was about here. His communist rant.
Care. They're not here for justice. They're not here for fairness. They're not here to treat you like a human being. They're here to treat you like a problem.
He's a human being, Kristi. He's a human being.
Oh, that was it anyway.
All right. That was it. Oh, okay.
Right. All right. Oh, it just ended. That was what happened.
Yeah. He is. He's a human being. How dare you? Yeah, this is the clip he plays. And he basically tries to make this story, which is like a national story, right? This is nothing to do with Carl at all. But Carl's like tried to make it about himself and plays this clip and's like, see, I can do jokes. You can't do jokes. The difference being, Carl, you were running for office. Joe Brand is a comedian.
Yep.
So like comedians do jokes. Politicians do politics.
Mm-hmm. Especially when they're in the middle of a campaign on a campaign stop.
Yeah, and that's not to say that comedians don't talk about politics or that politicians can't do jokes. But you've got to bear in mind again, Carl, this is where context actually matters, not your bullshit example, like pretend context. Context actually matters. That you can be edgy when you're a comedian. You can't really be that edgy when you're a politician because you have to appeal to lots of different types of people.
It's kind of funny that he defended Frankie Boyle and a lot of other people he named off that the BBC had to cut out for legal reasons who apparently said really horrible things. But
yeah.
Now a woman says it.
And not just that, but brilliantly in Vadim's video about that, you see examples where those comedians literally called Carl out and were like, no, we don't stand with this. This is not cool.
Well, two did because was it David Baddiel?
David Baddiel directly confronted Carl on Twitter about this and was like, no, the joke actually really matters. It's not, you can't just say it's a joke and that's fine. You have to actually construct the construction of the joke and the context of it and the target of it and all the rest of it matter. And you were directly trying to sexually intimidate another human being who was already the victim of a sexual assault.
Right, but like, Robert...
Fair play.
Yeah, but Robert Webb shit on him too.
Yeah, Robert Wood shit on him. We've been over this, but
but that was two famous comedians. I was just pointing out it was two famous comedians.
Well, those are pretty big comedians, yeah. Certainly much bigger than me, you, or Carl will ever be.
Definitely. We won't have our own show on the BBC. So
no, well, we probably will because it's the Bolshevik broadcasting communists.
Yes, they'll put us on. A couple of no-name YouTubers.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, but that's how the communists get you. Right. It's always the ones you least expect.
All right, we ready for Joe now? That I have my drink.
I was born ready for Joe.
All right, here we go.
I think actually, by the way, you should look into some of her stand-up skits from the or stand-up sets from the 80s. She was like a hardcore feminist back when.
I've seen old. I've seen old Joe.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yes, old clips.
I actually I read the first part of her biography as well, which is called "Don't Look Back in Hunger," which is quite funny. And she tells some fantastic stories. Like when she was on Brighton Pier, she went to see the Kinks live, and Ray Davies, the lead singer of the Kinks, was like just hanging about after the show, and they decided to spend their money on a packet of cigarettes rather than a taxi home. And the cigarette machine stuck, so Ray Davies kicked the shit out of the machine and busted it open for them and got them a pack of cigarettes.
Wow.
As you do. Rock stars just stealing cigarettes for you.
Nice.
Awesome.
That's a cool dude.
Yeah. And she was a mental health nurse as well, worked with schizophrenics.
Yeah.
Interesting life.
She's a very cool woman. Yeah.
She's done something interesting and worthwhile with her life, Carl.
Right.
Carl.
She's hosting a show on the BBC. You've been demonetized
because she's one of the Bolshevik broadcasting communists.
Yes. I would not be surprised if also she was the only woman on the panel because that show is got a real gender.
Actually, no, it isn't. But to be fair, on this occasion, there was one woman.
Okay.
There was Heidi Allen, who was a now formerly Conservative member of Parliament, who's now was part of the Independent group. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Okay, yeah. So there was one other person, a woman. Okay.
Yeah.
Hitting play.
Police are investigating whether UKIP Euro candidate Carl Benjamin might have committed a crime when he stated he might rape Labour MP Jess Phillips. I think it's shocking that politics has been reduced to such vile and abusive personal attacks, especially from a twat-faced, beardy, tiny-cocked tosser like him.
Oh, that is amazing.
That is delicious. But the thing is, Carl, don't worry, because she wouldn't even throw battery acid at you. It's fine.
Nope, she wouldn't do it. She wouldn't even, Carl. She wouldn't even.
Exactly. I mean, there isn't enough beer in the world, so it's fine.
All right, so there's this creepy guy. Are we gonna listen to creepy guy?
Yeah, because it's amazing. It's fucking. This is mental. I don't know where Kristi dredged this piece of this fleck of human shite from, but this is. Amazing.
All right. Well, I'll confess to my guilty pleasure. Like when these dramas happen, like with Worski or Carl, or in this case, Black Pigeon Speaks, I like to go and sample the reaction on YouTube. So I will just do a search of like Black Pigeon Speaks and videos posted that day or that week if it's a more recent event. And then there's a lot of times people just upload stuff to their camera, and it gives me a way to kind of get a temperature gauge of where things are. And what I was noticing, which was really interesting, one thing I noticed is how many people responded so quickly to like Black Pigeon Speaks, where you didn't see people rallying around Carl at all during his campaign, really. I mean, he had some dedicated people, but mostly it was hard to find people talking about it besides like us and a few other channels. But anyway.
Well, to be fair, there was one notable Holocaust denier exception. That's all I'll say. He was being paid though, but you know.
Sorry, what?
He was literally being paid. No, I'm talking about fucking Reverend SS.
Oh, right. Oh, at the campaign. Yes. Sorry. That was a very obscure reference for me, but I'm gotcha now. All right. So then I found this guy. Can we just listen to like the last 2 minutes rather than the whole thing? Because he kind of gets repetitive and he gets more weird at the end.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So just
I don't really mind. It's just funny.
All right. Well, he's also, I find him a bit scary, but Kevin, you found him hilarious.
Because it's difficult to take him seriously because it's just an idiot ranting on the internet.
He really is.
And it's amazing. There is threatening language used, but it's so generic and meaningless that I mean I don't give a fuck.
Okay.
Like, I just don't care.
All right. So yep, for entertainment purposes only, this guy's channel's video. Hit play.
Look, trust me. It's coming. It's coming in a big way.
That's what she said.
You go around start deleting and banning people's channels, not because of hate speech, like you say.
This is. I like to think of this guy as Redneck Mussolini.
Okay, that's how you're picturing him in your head?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to get the mental image before I hit play. All right, here we go.
Fabricating that because it doesn't agree with your phony communist, Marxist, socialist, terrorist agenda.
Oh, that was the thing I noticed, which kept making me laugh so much. Is he always goes communist, socialist, terrorist agenda.
Yeah.
But what, you can't be a socialist without being a terrorist.
Not in
what
his
the fuck
mind.
are you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just weird. Very strange.
All right.
It's like he's not. Again, it's the redneck nation thing going on with him. It's just I just made up a word. Redneck nation. That's the thing now.
Okay.
His vocabulary is so limited. He doesn't look. He looks like he's got about maybe 25 to 30 words, and he just says the same things over and over again. It's amazing. Yeah.
All right. Here we go. It is playing.
YouTube,
it's just quiet.
Yeah,
you're going to end up like
slow.
Enron. Tyco.
I don't
remember Enron.
Why would Enron? They were like embezzling money and cheating people out of funds, weren't they? And mismanagement, all this kind of stuff. What is?
Yeah, they were literally. I don't know. It's strange because this has got nothing to. Enron's such a bad example because I don't even know what that means. What's he talking? What's it talking about? I've got the hiccups, bastard.
Yes,
Sorry.
yes. Hiccup time.
Oh.
Here we go.
Tycho, they thought they were too big for their britches too, with all their lies and bullshit.
Too big for their britches.
Don't know.
Well, I'm going to help
keep him as a pet. I want to keep this man in a pet and just be like, say something folksy to me.
Like a parrot.
Gosh darn it, Kev. Gosh darn it. Darn tootin'. Like, you know.
Okay, yes. Teach him to talk like a parrot. Give him crackers. Keep him humanely, but...
No, he already is a cracker.
That's racist, but funny because we can say it because we're white.
Exactly. We can say it. You black people, you can't say it. That's our word.
That's
can't say it.
Yeah, we'll call you a cracker on our show.
Exactly. It's okay. It's okay when our musicians, our country musicians, use it in their songs, but you can't say it. That's the way it works because we're a downtrodden people, us whites. Straight pride.
No. Oh, that's so sad.
Carl literally put a video out, didn't he? Straight pride worldwide, which this is how much of a caricature Carl is. I had that idea, right? When I saw the straight pride march thing was announced for is it Boston or wherever, and I was literally going to say do a meme or a video which would have the thumbnail straight pride worldwide, and it would literally be the white pride symbol, but just change the word white for straight.
Yeah.
Right. As a joke, because it's obviously thinly veiled white nationalist shit anyway. But I didn't bother doing it in the end because I'm lazy. But Carl literally did a video called Straight Pride Worldwide, and I was like, "You're a parody. That was me. That was the idea I'd had, which I didn't like. I'm not saying you stole it. I'm saying that's an idea I had to mock you, and you did it.
You need to start getting ahead of these things. Meme these ideas.
Yeah, you did my satire of you, but as you, seriously. Fucking hell. It's they're unmemeable. They're their own meme.
You need to start creating thumbnails for Carl before he has a chance to make the video.
Yeah. It's mad. Yeah.
All right. So speaking of madness, right-wing madness, let's get back. Where did there's my mouse. There we go.
Well, yeah, we need to get back to the socialist communist terrorists.
Yes, because that's what this guy's all about.
Along a little bit. I'm going to start out kind of slow with y'all. You aren't even going to know I'm fucking with you.
Good technique.
And then I'm going to start moving a little faster.
Ooh,
hello. This got spicy.
This part is hilarious. I was almost in tears when I was watching it through the first time. Yeah. Did you make it this far?
Start out slow.
did you...
Oh no, I watched the whole thing. Yeah.
Okay, let's start it over then.
Slow. I'm gonna suck your toes.
Sadly, that's not where he goes. But it sounds like
I'm gonna suck your little toes, and then I'm gonna go up your thighs. Maybe tickle your bush a little bit.
Ooh, yeah. What are you? Wow, now everyone in the chat's going to be fanning themselves. All right, so I'm gonna go back, and we'll just let this play. Now it takes a darker turn, but it is humorous up to a certain point.
And by the end, I'm gonna reach a crescendo. I'll be screaming and everything. Yeah. I imagine that's the noise he makes when he comes.
Wait. And I pictured you taking your cowboy hat off while you were doing it.
Yeah, it's like the scene from Dr. Strangelove where he's riding the bomb and he's just like, yeah, but you're riding a human.
Oh, so now we all have that mental image of you, Kevin. Thank you.
It's okay.
All right. Okay, hitting play.
Oh, you aren't even going to know I'm fucking with you. And then I'm going to start moving a little faster. And a little fast.
Oh, yeah. Faster. Harder, bitch. Yeah.
We were supposed to listen to this without stopping. All right.
Faster.
Yeah, but he needs to stop. He's going too quick. He's going to blow his fucking load. Jesus. Save yourself. That's the thing. He starts off well by saying you start slowly, but he gets too quick too fast. He's set a pace he can't sustain for more than 10 minutes. He needs to slow the fuck down It's a marathon, not a sprint. God damn it!
Think of Mitch McConnell, right? Keep the wolf from the door.
Oh no, don't, because I'll come instantly.
Ew.
I'm into wrinkly testicle fucking turtles.
All right, do I have to start over again now, or should I just hit play?
Oh no, we're not starting over again. I need to refill.
Hydrate.
That's a testicle joke. That's a testicle joke. There we go.
All right, so let's just hit play and see where this goes.
Then I'm going to start full bore. You won't be able to keep up. You'll be losing so much money, so many subscribers.
What? Oh,
I'm sorry.
You won't be able to keep up.
We have to play it through.
You won't be able to keep up. The bed sheets will be fucking soaked. Oh my God, we'll be drowning.
Okay, just for the audience, we have to play that through once without interruption. So I'm gonna go back, gonna listen to it, and I'm just if you can talk if you want to, but you can talk over it. But
no, I'm just gonna savor this weird dirty talk. This is like a perv's conversation. Like when you ring up like deep breathing into the phone. Like that, but he's broadcast this to the world on YouTube. Anyway, press play.
I'm gone. I am dead. DED dead. I have just tears pouring out of my eyes.
That's how good. That's how good his dick is. He fucked you to death. That's how good he is. He gave you the fucking inbred D, and you can't take any more.
Apparently, he went full bore. Okay, so
he went full bore and drilled you a third anus.
No, oh no. All right, I'm hitting play just to stop you.
Tycho.
Oh.
Remember Enron and Tycho?
Oh, too far back.
They thought they were too big for their britches too, with all their lies and bullshit. Well, I'm going to help it along a little bit. I'm going to start out kind of slow with y'all. You aren't even going to know I'm fucking with you. And then I'm going to start moving a little faster and a little faster. Then I'm going to start full bore. You won't be able to keep up. You'll be losing so much money, so many subscribers, so many advertisers.
Then I'm going to pull out and come on
Google YouTube. You are about to become a thing of the past.
This one guy is going to take out YouTube.
Yeah, this one guy with
little India looking.
Oh yeah, and there's some
you got
also there's some racism as well, so we can just talk over that. That's fine too. But yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
So, that Sundar Pichai or whatever his name is, and it's Susan Walensky or whatever her name is.
That was another thing. He starts off with because I had problems pronouncing her surname. Right, it's to the Anglo /tongue. It's strange. Like would you key or something?
Yeah.
But he starts off with like a reasonable pronunciation, and then by the end, he's given up. Walensky? Where the fuck is the S in there? What? It's just any fucking
something that starts with a W and ends with an I. It's close enough.
Yeah, fucking Putin. That'll do. Yeah.
I actually had to blow my nose. I'm
like I said, you blew your nose, he blew his beans.
All right, we're almost to the end of this, so let's hit play.
Well, guess what?
Chicken butt.
Your days are numbered. Your days are numbered. And that goes for the rest of you little commies, terrorists out there that are working out there at Google.
Always. It's always commie terrorists.
Yeah.
For some reason.
YouTube. Out there in Silicon Valley, California.
Well, thanks for specifying.
You're nothing but
it was
scum.
Silicon Valley.
Yeah, because there's so many of them. You know,
yeah,
it's like
Silicon Valley, Utah.
Yeah, like Springfield. You know, there's so many. Every state practically has its own. All right.
Outright, pure, full-fledged, certified commie scum. Every one of them.
Everyone.
What organization has the certification like authority?
Oh, the feminists. The feminists, because we have the Scum Manifesto, right?
We do. The Society for Communisting Up Men.
And then they get certified, and then they go to work at YouTube in either California or New York, which of course are the coastal states.
Or the BBC, which is in Silicon Valley, London.
Right.
So.
The Bolshevik broadcasting communists.
What goes around comes around, and don't you forget it.
Oh, well, now that they put up his back thing up again, does that mean good things will happen to YouTube? Anyway, that was the end of that thing.
Yeah, but you missed the bit where it's like he was saying they were going. Literally, he was making physical threats.
Yeah, I wanted to skip that because he's scary.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, no, he is scary. Yeah, he's fucking weird.
Kind of don't want to broadcast that.
Just leave him alone. Don't go and attack him or anything. That's silly. I mean, I don't need to say that because our fans don't.
Right.
It's still worth saying. Just leave him alone. He's a crazy motherfucker doing weird, violent / fucking sex talk things. It's weird. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna tickle your bum hole. Like,
I don't remember those lines exactly, but.
Well, no, but he was going, I'm going faster and faster, faster. Then I'm going to slow it down.
Oh, that part. Yes, that part. Yes, that part was hilarious.
Put my tongue in your bum hole. Slow it down for me.
That part was definitely happy hour worthy. That was.
Right. Then maybe I'll call my friend Dale and we have a 3-way. I don't know. I'll see where the night takes us. Yeehaw.
You want to? So should we tell the chat we're only about halfway through the show right now?
Yeah, this is going to be a very, very long one.
Settle in.
We basically decided
get a drink.
The hour is euphemistic at this point. It's not really a thing. Because
we could call it Kevin and Kristi's happy time, but then it sounds it's not as alliterative.
That just sounds like some sort of mutual masturbation session or something.
Well, in a lot of ways.
Yeah, metaphorically, is sort of, in a poetic sense, is true. Kristi and Kev's self-indulgent wank session, 4 hours.
It's not. It wouldn't fit really on the Podbean title as well. But
no. And there's no way it'd ever get monetized. Well, it doesn't get monetized anyway. Jesus. We just did violent sex talk for 10 minutes.
Yeah, this is definitely adult content.
Yes, this is NSFW. Although I have heard people say that they listen to it in the podcast at work. So, okay.
Oh, yeah. Well, if it's in your headphones, it's fine. But yeah, the first line of the podcast says, warning, adult themes and language.
Yeah. That's very fucking true.
Penis. All right. So, hey, we're going to take a break now because it's my show and tell time is over. It's time for you to take over the Milo story part of this.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Well, it would help if I got that back up. 1 second. Yes.
Oh,
Milo,
I'm sorry. Can I interrupt? Sorry to interrupt, but I'm going to just ask the chat. Vote 1 if you want me to keep the chat window up when I'm on screen. So I'll just share my screen, but only share the chat. Or do you want to see Lion Kitty? 2 for Lion Kitty, 1 for Kristi, share the chat. So, sorry, share the cat. So I'll just see what that is, and Kevin will talk, and I'll do whatever people say. I don't need to report the results. You'll figure it out.
Okay.
That was me done.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, well, so far Kitty's winning.
We got results?
Yeah. Are you going to share your screen?
Okay. I am, yes. So this was from Milo Yiannopoulos from a few days ago. We were sort of going to do it in the last one, but we didn't for some reason. I can't remember why. We forgot. Anyway, this is from Milo Yiannopoulos' dangerous.com, which is a shithole. Anyway, it's entitled, Say Farewell to the Klepto Queens of the British Far Right. Which is ironic considering the people he's talking about are less far right than him, but he doesn't consider himself far right.
Yeah, and he's like taking money from people, like not really produced on stuff, and was sued. And another thing, he's a kleptomaniac, but he's not an ethical person himself, Milo.
No. Right. I'm just going to read the first 3 paragraphs, and then we get to a list of spicy accusations that Milo makes, and then we'll leave it there because it's quite a long article. But anyway. If you've ever donated to Tommy Robinson, the British free speech and anti-Islamist dubbed the backbone of Britain by Steve Bannon, which makes me hate him even more. I didn't think that was possible. Yeah, and that's garbage anyway, but whatever. There's a fair chance your money didn't end up paying for his tour bus or security guards, but was instead diverted to pay for champagne-fueled gay soirees in some of London's most expensive zip codes. Which is ironic, because zip code isn't a thing that gets used in Britain as a phrase.
No, it's a postal code.
Postcode, yeah. But even so, I just like that phrase, diverted to pay for champagne-fueled gay soirees.
Well, that's because Milo wishes he was going to those. He writes in very fluid language about the things he wishes he could still do.
Yeah, and it doesn't sound anywhere near as bad as drug-fueled pedo orgies in Hollywood that he claims to have gone to and not reported to the police. Yep. Milo, you fucking pedo's best friend. Anyway, the culprits? Question mark. A homosexual couple, okay, who produced both of Lauren Southern's documentary films and who last month released their own film, You Can't Watch This, about free speech. Now, I haven't seen that film, but it sounds awful. More than a dozen former co-workers, friends and acquaintances say Kaylin Robertson and George Llewellyn John bragged to them about these and other betrayals, thefts, frauds, sabotages, including a secret years-long collaboration with George Soros-funded far-left activist group that endangered the lives of Gavin McInnes, this reporter, and Tommy himself.
Whoa, that's a whole lot of stuff.
There's a lot to unpack in that sentence.
Yes.
Anyway, but I'm not going to unpack any of it because we'll just get to the list of things. It's amazing. No, and by the way, I have no evidence that any of this is true. Milo could be making any of it up. I don't care. I just love to see arseholes flailing about at each other. Leaked documents revealed here for the first time confirm many of the claims we found at the pair, and then there's a list of things, right? Stole Bitcoin worth $20,000 from Tommy Robinson while the activist was in jail to fund their jet-set lifestyle.
Ooh, jet-set lifestyle funded by 20,000. I don't think you get very far on 20,000 for a jet-set lifestyle. If I'm honest,
yeah, jet-set lifestyle. $20,000 is like the bus fare of jet-set lifestyle.
Yeah, I think so. That's like all the Ubers you could take for a year. I mean, that's not a lot.
Yeah, basically. You can fly to not the south of France, the middle of France.
Yeah.
You can fly to the middle of France. That's fine. Booked a luxury Airbnb and bought 6 bottles of Dom Perignon champagne at Tommy Robinson's wife's credit card.
Ooh. Wow.
Yeah. Swapped. This is just a weird one. Swapped camera equipment worth thousands of dollars for secondhand models they found on eBay.
So basically, they gave them brand new equipment and they sold it off and then got secondhand stuff and pocketed the difference. Well, so they basically scammed him. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a really petty thing. Just make a good documentary, you'll be all right.
Yeah, it's like that's a lot of work to go on eBay and do all that, sign it up and post it through and wait for the payment. It's kind of a lot of hassle, especially for really nice equipment. Just use it.
Indeed. They worked with Hope Not Hate, an Antifa-affiliated far-left organization for years.
How are people in Antifa aren't affiliated? How is Antifa affiliated with?
One Antifa person is not affiliated with any other Antifa person. They're just, I mean, they are the collection of individuals that Carl gets wet about. But there's no affiliation there. Again, there's no Antifa group handing out like, oh, you're an affiliate of London Antifa. Like, no,
there's not a headquarters of Antifa. They don't have a postcode mailing box. They don't have a PayPal.
Yeah. Who is the chief operating officer of fucking Antifa? I want your tax records for the last taxable year period.
Yeah,
such
pretty
and
sure.
such.
They're a 501c3, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Anyways, defrauded Alex Jones with inflated expense claims. Okay. I mean,
honestly, that just sounds like what he did to the Mercers. It sounds like what he did to the Mercers.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. And that's it's entire. Why are they expecting differently when it's all grift? This is just grifters complaining about other grifters grifting more successfully.
Yeah, facts.
Anyway, risked the life of Tommy Robinson by sharing his location with Hope Not Hate.
Risked his life?
What? Yeah, that's again. When has Tommy been killed for this?
Wait. Did Hope
It's
Not
never
Hate
happened.
tell people when he was in jail?
No, that was Caitlin Robertson, and Caitlin Robertson lied, didn't he? He made up the idea that there was a Muslim majority in the prison that Tommy was in, when there is no Muslim majority prison in the entire country. So yeah, but that was, and he never corrected himself there, never apologized, just left it up there. That's fine.
They never do.
Honesty. What was I going to say? So apologies. There's also the WOMS World Cup is on at the moment, and England are playing Argentina.
Oh,
So
that
I'll
would be a
watching
very good match. I bet
10. It has been. England are 1-0 up, and it's on a knife's edge. Anyway, so I've been slightly distracted by that.
I'm sure the chat would want to know if anything happens, so please let us know.
Well, I will tell you. Well, I would have told you that the goal had gone in if anyone had been interested, but maybe they're not. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, risked the life of Gavin McInnes by sharing his travel itinerary with the same group.
Risked his life because they knew when he was going to be landing at an airport? Yeah, because airports are so well-known places for not having security. What?
And not just that, but Gavin McInnes was the head of a violent organization.
Yeah.
Yet he was
thugs all
not
around him.
attacked. So, yeah. So, and not just that, but he's the violent threat to anyone else rather than them being a threat to him. To the point where he had to disavow a group he started. Jesus.
Gosh. And these guys complain about people,
It goes on.
Complaining.
It goes on. Look, there's a long list. There's a long list here. We're not even halfway through.
Oh my gosh.
Circulated a fake quote-unquote email leak about Milo Yiannopoulos doxing his husband, who I believe is black. I don't know if he's mentioned that, but I think his husband is black.
Is he writing about himself in the third person?
I don't know. Did he write this article? It's on his website.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know if he wrote it. Hang on, maybe his name's at the bottom. I don't know.
Thanks for looking,
several
by the way.
instances. Yeah, that's fine. Name have been corrected. Apparently, they spelt Llewellyn John's name wrong in the initial, which is fun. And it just says Yiannopoulos is an award-winning journalist, but it doesn't say that he wrote it. So it's either being written in the third person, which is weird, or no, whatever. Or it's not being attributed to anybody. So,
but it's on his blog.
I don't know.
And if that's the only attribution,
yeah, it's on his website. Oh, not just that, but it's under the heading. It's in the section Yiannopoulos.
So it must be him writing in the third person.
That certainly implies.
Yep.
Yeah. Unless he's doing the thing that he used to do, which was pay people to shadow write stuff for him.
That could be the
not attributed to them because he's garbage.
Because he is garbage.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so I'll start that one again. Circulated a fake quote-unquote email leak about Milo Yiannopoulos and his very, 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 very black husband while being paid by Yiannopoulos' tour operator for PR work. So they were doing the opposite of PR work whilst Milo was paying them to do PR work. Okay. Interesting. Milo, you really do hire the best people.
Maybe check references.
Defrauded Lauren Southern with inflated invoices whilst being paid by her to produce a documentary. It's just grifters moaning about other grifting. Yeah.
And also this
defrauded rental companies.
Can I just point out how superfluous some of this language is? So there was really just the construction of it. So overbuild on invoices while producing a documentary for Lauren Southern. You could say that so much more efficiently and parsimoniously. Just the writing is bloated.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yes. Yes, indeed. But without even really being particularly, it's sort of verbose, but without being particularly well written at all. Like it's not like they're writing this to sound better. It's just filling up space.
Yeah. It's just being dramatic.
So this might be, it would be funny if this was the shadow writer's way of because they bill them by the word or something, of defrauding Milo within the article saying that Milo was being defrauded.
That would be delicious. That would be so delicious.
That would be, oh God, that's the inception of grift.
Yes.
The griftception.
Oh, no.
Grift within a grift within a grift.
And definitely complain about them, overcharging for people on their invoices. Oh, yeah. I'll do that times 10.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Not just that, but where did that privilege grant money go, Milo? You piece of garbage.
Exactly.
We ain't forgot about that. Boy, oh. Anyway. Defrauded rental companies by failing to return equipment and returning inferior models and broken units.
What?
So again, there's a lot of petty electronics-based
Yeah.
griftery going on here. It's so weird. And some of these are like really big claims, and some of them aren't. And there's no progression. They're just just jumbled together.
It's just a list.
It literally is just a list. This one's quite serious. Made a false rape claim against a far left activist.
Whoa, what?
Yeah, that's quite a serious crime.
Yeah.
But actually, some of the others are quite serious as well. Fraud is not looked upon well. But yeah, so that's interesting that these people going about false rape claims, and yet the only one we can hear is, or the only one that they seem to know about is an actual false rape claim made by a far rightist against a leftist. And interestingly, in the England game, this is my one little claim to fame. A girl I went to school with, who's now a woman, obviously, Karen Carney, is just coming onto the pitch for England.
How cool!
She was in my year at school. She was in my high school. Yeah. But I was better than her at football then because I was bigger and I could just muscle her off the ball.
Right.
Whereas now I couldn't do 90 minutes football. So yeah.
But maybe you put a chip on her shoulder. She decided she's gonna have to go out there and be the best. Beat that Logan ass.
She can if she wants to. That's fine. I'm into that. It's fine.
All right. I bet she's on Twitter. All right.
I bet she probably is, but she's also I dare say she doesn't remember me. Which is fine. Anyway, where were we? Bragged about having TV shows cancelled with bogus suicide threats. What? That sentence doesn't even make sense. Bragged about having TV shows cancelled, and cancelled spelled wrong, with bogus suicide threats.
Is there only one L?
There's only one L.
Yeah, that's the American way.
Oh, well, it's wrong then.
It's
wrong.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, but it's still wrong. It's still fucking wrong. I don't get, even if it's correct in America, that still means it's wrong.
You're right. Whoever wrote this, the ghostwriter or Milo, really should have thematized these wrongs because you have a false rape claim and then you have bragging. I mean, okay, both are speech acts, but they're not really on par. You're kind of, you're drawing. It's just, this is weird. Poor writing again.
Indeed, but I don't even understand. Bragging about having TV shows cancelled with fake, bogus suicide threats. What does that mean?
I can only
so they were bragging about.
Speculate.
They did fake suicide threats in order to get a TV show cancelled, which they then bragged about.
Correct.
Okay, well that's still very poorly written because that's not very clear.
No. And again, it's also like, okay, they're assholes, but that doesn't, you go, okay, the false rape allegation, and then they're bragging about being assholes. You're just like, these things don't go together. Like, put all the thefts together, put all the invoice overbilling together, then put the serious crimes together.
Yeah, it's like they murdered someone and they also forgot to get a Mother's Day card.
Right.
Like, it's one is much more serious than the other. Yes. And there's no like thematic compilation going on here, unless I'm giving them far too much credit, but the only thing I can think is maybe it's chronological, but I think that's still giving them too much credit because I don't think they're
so much credit.
Given the really basic mistakes they've made, I don't think they've got like a grand thematic string throughout this list. It's just cobbled together.
This is like I'm just gonna write down all the things I can think of randomly, whatever comes to mind.
A hack. Milo's a hack, and Milo's employees hack writers to do their his ghostwriting. Anyway, doctored their clients' videos to embarrass them, including pitch shifting male voices upwards, which is interesting because as homosexualists, they will be accused of being like girly or whatever, and yet that's literally what they're doing to male voices, apparently.
Right, but also presumably the customer wouldn't pay for the product. I would just need to know more about this story. Like, if they're clients, why would they accept the product when their voice had been altered? That doesn't make sense to me. Not as it's written.
I don't know. Yeah, and that's that, but clearly, like, one of their clients is Lauren Southern, so does she is she okay with that? Does she know about that? I would think she'd notice. You'd think, but maybe she doesn't. I mean, she's I don't know. She's both stupid enough and evil enough that it could go either way. It's a 50-50 on that one. I don't know. I can't call that one. But either way, she's shit.
Yeah.
Anyway.
100% that.
Right, we're down to the last three now. Jesus.
Okay.
Oh. Gloated about their exploits whilst, and again, this is such a long sentence. Gloated about their exploits while showering far-left activists with gifts, food and drink at London's most expensive hotels paid for by the Conservatives they were working with.
Holy run-on sentence, Batman.
Yeah, I'll read that again from start to finish. This is amazing. Gloated about their exploits while showering far-left activists with gifts, food and drinks at London's most expensive hotels paid for by the Conservatives they were working with.
That is so convoluted. Okay, let's see.
That's ridiculous.
I'm going to try to interpret this. So, wait, they were at hotels that were paid for by conservatives that they had arranged as clients. And while at these events, they actually were hanging around with leftists who were...
Far left activists.
Right, sorry, far left activists, whom they were gloating about all of their escapades, and they were being showered with something at some point, but I kind of forgot the middle bit. I feel like Otto in A Fish Called Wanda. What was the middle part again?
No, right, they were gloating about their exploits at some expensive hotels. And England have just won 1-0, by the way. So
all right. Hey.
Yes, so I think they're through to the knockout stages now, if I recall correctly. Anyways, so they're at these expensive hotels gloating about their exploits whilst showering those far-left activists with gifts, food and drinks, okay? And they were paying for that with the money from Conservatives that they were working for.
Okay.
Or working with. It says working with, but okay, whatever. Whew. Oh, this is amazing, this one. This one's throwing shade at Southern as well. Shared their misdeeds with Lauren Southern, who laughed and egged them on.
So there's gloating, there's bragging, and there's egging on.
I mean, yeah, this exactly. There's a lot of encouragement, which is sort of good for an employee-employer relationship. That's good. That's classic. Right, the last one. Oh. Disavowed Southern and Robinson when we challenged them about their crimes, claiming they'd been radicalized by the far right online.
That's a point against them? What? Okay. It's weird because now he switched into the first person.
Yeah.
He was Milo Yiannopoulos at the top of the list.
And then he went weird shadow writer and now he's back. So I don't know what the fuck. Well, yeah, basically he's hired a really, really lazy, poor hack ghostwriter.
Or he's just a hack. He literally just wrote this down, didn't even bother to read it through, and just published it.
Yeah, that's why he's, millions of dollars in debt.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's there's a whole long thing, but it goes on. So
yeah, we don't have time for all that nonsense.
Hang on, whoa! That sounded dangerously like hillbilly Mussolini.
I'm gonna go full bore on you.
I'm gonna start off slow,
and then I'm gonna go fast.
Then I'm gonna move up. I'm gonna stick my fingers.
You're not even gonna know I'm fucking you.
Yeah, I'm gonna suck the soul out of you, boy. Yeah. So there we go. Where are we? Now, talk amongst yourselves for a second. I think it's probably worth having a piss break in between, but I need to get up the 12 rules for wanking off a lobster.
Okay, well, how about let's see. Did you say you wanted to read the first 3 paragraphs of that article?
No, that was the article we just read.
Just the list. Okay, all right.
Yeah,
let's take a break.
No, I read the first 3. I read the first 3 paragraphs and then the list. We
right. Okay. Sorry. I got so
done, Kristi.
I was so dazzled by the list. It was all I could see. My memory had been wiped of the previous 3 paragraphs. All right. So how do you want to do this? You want to go and take a break and I'll talk to the chat?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, and then
I've
you'll
got the
come.
12 rules up, by the way. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
and then
I'll be back in.
Yep.
I'll be back in 12 seconds. See,
All right.
that's the thing. No, actually, it'll be a lot longer than 12 seconds, but anyway.
Right, 12 rules for life, 12 seconds. Got it. So hello, you envy my memory wipe, do you, or Orion? Yes. So I had 2 in the chat, 1, so I kept the kitty up. But now because Kevin is gone, it's just you and me, guys. So yeah, let's have a chat. You guys have been having a lot of fun. I see. 12 seconds for life. We've got a bit coming up now. We raised it in the last happy hour. It was the Jordan Peterson. Well, here's the story behind it. Many months ago, on Twitter, someone took a picture of pages from a book that they said was Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life. And in it, they described in the tweet a summary of the paragraphs that they'd taken pictures of, where Peterson shows just real lack of empathy for someone who confided in him about a sexual assault. Excuse me. And I knew Kevin had a copy of the book because he was going to do a series on it. And then I think he just lost the will to live and couldn't handle doing more Peterson. Therefore, he just kind of, it dropped off. And I asked him about it, whether or not he'd got to that section in the book yet, or if he'd finished it or whatever. Did this story sound familiar? And he said he hadn't gotten that far in the book yet, but if he did ever come across it, he would let me know. That was what came up last week in the happy hour. So if you were in the happy hour last week, you'll know the story already, basically. But we're going to look at the actual pages and the words Peterson uses. And that's the section that's going to be coming up next. So, yes, and Kevin has a PDF copy of it. So he's already got that up and on screen and ready to go for when he comes back and does the show. You guys aren't giving me. Are we to feel sorry for Milo?
No.
People ask in the chat. Hey, Kevin, do you feel sorry for Milo?
Not in the slightest.
Nor
No.
do I. Nor do I.
No.
Apparently, Faraday Speaks was talked about in an article in the New Statesman. Someone tagged me into that.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
And that wouldn't be surprising because if it made the front page of the New York Times, that's going to be talked about in other places. So that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, that's true.
I dare say they're less generous because New Statesman is far right and garbage by and large. I want to say it's not necessarily fascistic in totality, but there's a lot of very sort of ultra conservative types.
Right. Now, tag you're it. I'm gonna mute myself, and I will be back after I've had a break and I've topped up my drink as well. So, ready for part 2. All right, catch you in a few.
Okay, cool. Well, I didn't have the page for the actual thingy-me-bob up on the screen, so I'm going to go into my subscriptions and do that, and then I can see the chat. So get your questions in, and by the time I get there, they'll be with me. Yeah. Turn the volume off. Oh yeah, I suppose I could say, for those who don't know, the avatar I'm using there, the Orgreave thing, is connected with a thing called the Battle of Orgreave, which was during the miners' strike of 1984, where the police attacked, striking miners, injuring hundreds and arresting like 90 odd or 100. It was a disgusting thing, and today's the 35th anniversary, and so to honour the brave men, it was largely men actually, because it was a coal mining thing, who stood for in working class solidarity. I did that, so there we go. Yes. Oh, sorry. Yes, no, I am totally. Yeah, I'm not on about the New Statesman. I was on about the Spectator. That's far right. Apologies. Yes, I've got them mixed up in my head. Yes, apologies. So yeah, it's the Spectator that's far right. The New Statesman's actually not at all. No, New Statesman's quite good. Yes, fuck Thatcher. Absolutely. Abso-blinking-lutely. Yeah, question. Has it been raining as much in Birmingham as it has been in Stoke? Well, I don't know how much it's been raining in Stoke, but it's been raining a fuck ton in Birmingham. Yes. Yeah, it's been raining a lot over the last few days. Because it's the English summer, so why not? And we had a really good one last year, and this year's been shit so far. And so lots of games at the Cricket World Cup have been washed out, which is annoying. Tim got a video taken down. Oh, Tim Tool. So Tim Pool had a video taken down. Okay, which one? Do we know? It's raining men. It's not raining men. No. Although hallelujah, it's raining rain. Am I attending the Straight Pride parade, Kev? No, because Straight Pride isn't a thing. In the same way that someone made a great analogy that said we don't have a Straight Pride Day in the same way that Britain doesn't need an Independence Day. It's just true. All the plant life drying out and dying was good. I mean, good as in like good weather. Like there are things we can do to try and mitigate plant life and things. I just meant in terms of the summer being sunny. No, I'm not saying there's nothing like if it's really rainy or really sunny, nothing's good about that necessarily. Just in terms of, pardon me, enjoyment of the weather. Mm. 12 days to Glasgow/Wimbledon. Of course, it's raining. Yeah, but it might be dried out by then. Who knows?
You're so British. I come back and you're talking about the weather.
Yeah, well, someone asked me about the rain, and it's been raining a lot. So.
Oh, wow! We had a gorgeous day here today. Really sunny, like 25
Fuck off,
degrees.
Germany.
Oh, it's been lovely.
Off.
Yeah.
Germany can fuck off. I've said it. It's a thing. And I did a massive sneeze as well.
Actually, I caught the tip of that. I caught the end of that.
You caught just the tip. Okay.
Yeah, that's what she said, or he said in this case. Well, it could be the tip of something. Yeah, I know. There are tips on people all over the place.
Well, I'm just saying you'll start with the tip, but then I'll go faster and faster, and I'll go full bore. Anyway.
Hashtag full bore.
Yeah, so hashtag full bore. Which has nothing to do with the white people of South Africa.
No, very different bore.
Yes, indubitably. What am I doing? Right, so we're doing Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life. But more specifically, we're just doing part of Rule 9, which is
I did give the background of that tweet that I got tagged into and asked you about, and you said you'd bring it up if you ever came across it in the book. So I did while you were gone. That's what I talked about.
Oh, okay. So yeah, but basically content warning. Talking about rape, and Jordan Peterson does not deal with it in the most delicate of manners. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
Yes. Right. So there we go. Can we see that?
Yes, we can.
Awesome. So that's his 12 Rules for Life, and it's page 216, if I recall. Where's the pages?
Yep, 216 was what you told me.
Indeed. Well, I'm glad I did.
I think if you put into find, you can do it that way.
Yeah, but how do I get to that? I don't know what I'm looking for.
Can you see a page number at the bottom of it? I need to maximize my screen where your screen is. In luck on you.
Yeah, I don't know. No, I don't. Developers tools? No, that's not good.
No. Are those the 3 dots that you did? No.
Hang on, I'll take it off the screen and I'll find it in a second.
Oh, just in the search bar. Can you type 216? Okay.
What search? Oh, hang on. There. Yeah. Okay. Right.
I don't think the number 216 can come up that often inside the PDF. So it'll at least narrow it down, hopefully.
Hang on a second.
Or you can do a search word for a keyword.
No, there we go. Right, I got it.
Okay.
It's actually 217, so I'd fuck that up. Anyway, doesn't matter. Right. So we're
You
good
wanted to
go
start
now.
at the top. You wanted to start at the beginning.
I did, and then work my way up slowly and go full bore.
Yes.
That's a new meme for us. Right. So can we see that, everybody? Can we see that? It's a little penguin.
Everyone can see that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So how do you want to do it? Should I read it first, and then you can read a bit,
Well,
and
it's
then I'll read a bit.
harder for me to read till you're
Yeah.
tired. It's very small on my screen.
Okay. Rule 9. I'm tired.
Fuck you. I'm going to try to increase the size of the screen here. It's at 110 now, so I'll make it bigger. That's what she said. How is it when I make it 150, it gets smaller than 125? That makes no freaking sense to me. Google, you suck.
You do suck, Google. Absolutely. Anyways, rule 9. Assume that the person you are listening to might know something you don't. Now, that's actually just a generally good piece of advice. And this is the thing with Peterson. He gives generally good pieces of advice mixed in with either pseudoscientific guff or just really, really nasty sexist guff. And that's sort of the problem. Like, you can point to clean your room is just, generally good bit of advice. That's fine. But
talking about enforced monogamy is normalizing the idea.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And, the weird fucking dragons of chaos bullshit. Like, it's nonsense. Constantly alluding to Adam and Eve as if that's a thing that ever fucking actually
Never happened.
What?
Never happened.
Yeah. Talking snake man made them do it. Like, come on. Anyway, not advice. Now, this is the thing where Peterson is so self-unaware. It's unbelievable. Anyway, he says, psychotherapy is not advice. Advice is what you get when the person you're talking with about something horrible and complicated wishes you would just shut up and go away. Advice is what you get when a person you are talking to wants to revel in the superiority of his or her intelligence. If you weren't so stupid after all, you wouldn't have had such stupid problems.
What?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I mean, obviously, psychotherapy isn't advice, so that's true. But also, Jordan, this is a self-help book. You are literally writing a book giving advice to people.
Yes.
But yet you're now saying that you only ever get advice from people who are telling you that they're more clever than you. So this is literally you writing a book saying, I'm cleverer than all of you.
What a prick.
According to your own logic, apparently.
Also, just that sort of broad brush stroke, casting aspersions on people who give advice when people give advice for some people just give, bad advice. They're well-meaning, but other people, really listen. They try to empathize and maybe see something the other person isn't seeing because they're on the outside. It's just, ugh. All right.
Yeah.
It's even a minor point compared to what we're going to get to.
Exactly, but I just wanted to sort of open.
But in terms of people who might know more than you, right? Some people who might have experiences that you don't, and if you listen to them and take them seriously, you might learn something. Isn't that the sort of general rule?
Yeah. Yeah, so that would involve sometimes taking advice from smarter people or more expert.
Or listening to people when they tell you things about what happened.
Experience was the word I was looking for. But anyway, we can skip the next couple of stanzas because the bit we want to get to is this bit here, right? Again, brace yourselves. One time, a client who I had been seeing for a few months came into my office for her scheduled appointment, and after some brief preliminaries, she announced, quote, I think I was raped, unquote. It is not easy to know how to respond to a statement like that. Yes, it is, Jordan. Yes, it is.
Making about you right away.
Yeah, like you can just be like, oh, that's obviously horrible. How do you feel about that now? Like, I'm a better psychotherapist than you fucking idiot. Anyway. Right. So, it's not easy to know how to respond to a statement like that, although there is frequently some mystery around such events.
What?
Yeah.
What events? Is he talking about rape or the disclosing of something? About
I don't know, but the way he said there's mystery around these events, like they're doing card tricks between rapes. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
There's no fucking mystery in this. It's actually relatively well understood why it happens, how it happens, and how it's perpetuated. Partly through shit like your fucking guff about, oh, there's mystery. No, there's not. Stop muddying the waters, you piece of garbage.
Yeah.
Did you have anything to add?
No, I'm still trying to understand. Okay, I'm just filing away this mystery comment to see if it's going to connect to anything, or this is just like a random Petersonism. He just throws out there to sound profound.
Yeah, the next sentence is troublesome. Often alcohol is involved, as it is in most sexual assault cases.
What? Oh,
Firstly,
God.
he doesn't provide a source for the suggestion that most sexual assault cases are drink related. I would imagine that's untrue, actually, because
Yeah.
again, most sexual assaults and rapes happen between people who know each other, often in a domestic setting.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's not to say they can't be drunk, but most of the time they won't be.
Just to
'Cause
say,
you're just
250.
at home.
250. We did do a trigger warning before this.
Yes, we did. Yes. Yeah. And not just that, but I would assume whenever I'm on a thing, just a general trigger warning.
You
Just
do say
generally, because I'm going to say,
pretty spicy things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
You cross
I'm not.
lines.
No,
no.
exactly. 'Cause I'm a rebel.
Yes. You
I'm a
touch them.
rebel.
You touch them.
I touch rebels. Yes.
Yes. All right.
Okay. So yeah, but it's just again, it's the bringing alcohol in there. Again, you're muddying waters.
Yep.
Peterson. You
Ooh,
piece
we
of
can't be
shit.
sure what happened, and there was alcohol involved. So yeah, poisoning the well.
Yeah, and bear in mind, this whole thing of him trying to obfuscate in order to try and protect the rapist, she hasn't named anybody.
Yeah.
This is not a Me Too thing.
Nope.
She literally just said, I think I was raped. She hasn't mentioned a name. She hasn't mentioned whether she knows this person or not, whether she's still in contact with this person or not, how many times it may or may not have happened, in what setting. Nothing. There's nothing to go on whatsoever with this. She just said, I think I was raped. And he's going into the rape apologetic spiel.
Already.
At least in his own head. I assume he didn't say that to her, but, it's disgusting.
But if he's your therapist and you confide in him, he might be thinking something like this about you.
Yeah. Yeah, which means I don't know why anyone would ever go to him. Because he's terrible.
And why would people listen to him about psychotherapy?
Yeah. And the next, it's one sentence, 4 words, and sums up exactly what I mean about him trying to muddy the waters. Alcohol can cause ambiguity.
Garbage.
Let that sink in. Yeah.
So he has her statement, and then the next 3 sentences are him basically setting up, discrediting her without her saying another sentence.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, she's not accused a person.
No, she's saying what happened to her.
Extraneous facts about this.
Mm-hmm.
She hasn't told him anything. She's just literally saying, even though I know nothing about this case, I'm still going to side with the rapist whose identity I don't even know. Oh,
so far,
Jordan,
yep,
you are
that's exactly what he's
garbage. Yeah. So he continues. That's partly why people drink. Alcohol temporarily lifts the terrible burden of self-consciousness from people. Drunk people know about the future, but they don't care about it. That's exciting. That's exhilarating.
So wait, he used her to set up him talking about alcoholism or drinking. He used her opening up to this assault that she thinks happened to her. She says it tentatively, right? Because she's opening her, talking about something difficult. And he's segueing into drinking?
Yeah, she said. Yeah. But she starts off with, I think I was raped. Because like you say, she's tentatively broaching a subject that's obviously incredibly sensitive. And one of the reasons I dare say that she's seeking psychotherapy in the first place, because she's experienced incredibly traumatic things like being raped. And she may not have come to terms with the fact that even she was raped. She just thinks she might or whatever, right? So,
or she might be coming to terms that that's what happened to her. She's saying, this is what happened to her. Sorry.
Yeah, she tentatively approaches it, but later on, an extra detail that gets given that I think absolutely corroborates it. It's like, okay, well, this thing did happen to her then. Because again, she's not doing this to get back. She's not a jilted woman who's getting back her ex-lover. That kind of bullshit that the right wing spews as false rape accusation hysteria. She's literally just in the privacy of a one-to-one discussion saying I was raped.
Yep.
And I
And
absolutely believe
yeah, the confidence of her therapist.
Yeah, which has been broken to some degree, albeit that, like I say, I don't know that there will be legal
No.
ramifications.
I mean, he's not identifying her. No.
Yeah, it just
That's
says
not
a
a question.
client. But presumably, given the specific detail that gets mentioned later, it'd probably be too difficult for her to have found out that this was the case, that was her. And that would be enormously violating.
Yeah.
But anyway. Right, so he continues. Drunk people can party like there's no tomorrow. But because there is a tomorrow, most of the time, drunk people also get in trouble. They black out. They go dangerous places with careless people. They have fun, but they also get raped.
Oh, this man is vile. He is totally a rape apologist. He is a misogynist. He is
And you
not.
wouldn't. Yeah, go
Oh,
on.
you dropped out. You dropped out for like the first time tonight. Go ahead. I was done.
No, I don't think I did. I stopped. I literally stopped
Oh,
talking. Right.
okay. No, just that he's a rape apologist.
No, I didn't drop out.
He's just perpetuating rape culture.
Yeah, he is, absolutely.
Bad things happen to you when you drink, ladies, so don't drink. Don't live your lives. Don't ask society to restructure itself so that you can have the same kind of life that guys do and go out and have a safe night. No. You should just stay indoors after 8 o'clock and do blowjobs and clean the house.
Yeah, but don't wear makeup at work because that's...
You're right. That's inviting sexual harassment. Yeah. Red lipstick. Exactly. Fruit face, man. Fruit face theory.
Fruit face. Yeah, so awful. And then that's the thing. When you write something like they have fun, but they also get raped, do you wonder why maybe somewhere like Cambridge University were like, yeah, actually, we don't want anything to do with you.
Nothing to do with the guy who would put that in a book.
We don't need that hot. Yeah, we don't need that hot potato. Like, we'll have some like edgy people and stuff because that's interesting to have like experimental thinkers and stuff. But this is just fucking grotesque. This is absolutely awful.
He is grotesque and awful. Yeah.
Right. So again, when I read this next sentence, bear in mind that all she has said so far is, I think I was raped. And he's now convinced himself that she was drunk. She hasn't said she was drunk. He's convinced himself because he writes, quote, so I immediately thought something like that might be involved.
So that's how he reacts when he hears that, right? Because he said, ooh, how do you react when someone says that to you? And he took us through his thought process, and he's an ass.
Yeah. He's convinced himself with no knowledge of anything else that she was drunk. Therefore, it's ambiguity.
Yeah, well, you get drunk and get raped.
Let's just call it a wash.
It just happens.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to drink, you got basically like, wear a female condom, ladies, because you're basically asking to be raped.
Yeah.
Or don't drink.
Yeah. It's, he also, this is amazing, right? Again, he shows himself he doesn't actually understand how people think. Because as I explained, when you're not necessarily completely confident in a situation and with an idea and something that happened to you, that's where she starts off tentatively by saying, I think I was raped. He doesn't understand that very, very basic psychological concept, though, because he says, how else to understand, quote, I think, unquote, question mark.
Oh, my slap hand is jigging.
This is getting almost... This is beyond milkshake territory.
How has this not gotten more press? How has he not been dragged all over the media for this? That is what I want to know. This is a best-selling book, and people read this and go, that was a great read. Are you kidding me? How is this not getting more attention? Seriously.
Yep.
If I was protesting him at being on a campus, I would hand out these sections, and from his book and say, read this and tell me if this is a man you want teaching your sons and daughters.
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
Indeed. No. But it continues. But that wasn't the end of the story. She added an extra detail. Quote, 5 times, unquote. So she was raped 5 times, it would appear. But he didn't wait for that. He made all of that assumption before having any other detail. Now he has that extra detail. Anyway, he continues. The first sentence was awful enough, but the second produced something unfathomable. 5 times? What could that possibly mean? It means she was raped 5 times.
Yeah, it's not a difficult sentence to parse.
Yeah, that's really basic. It means the thing that was said in the first sentence happened on 5 occasions.
Yep.
It's very, very basic. So not only does he not understand psychology, his own writing style, he doesn't understand phenomenally basic concepts like the repeatability of human events.
Also, she's never put, at least in the story as he's relating it, she's never given a time period. This could have happened when she was a teenager. It could have happened last week. It could have happened years ago. He doesn't know. And neither do we, as the reader. All we know is that she says this happened. It happened 5 times.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. And that's the gist of it. He does go on a little bit more later on about her potentially. Essentially, he sort of does a mild bit of slut shaming later on about a client. But that's the basic thing that we wanted to bring to you, the disgusting rape apologetics. I mean, literally, that phrase, they have fun, but they also get raped.
Yeah.
Just like they get raped. It's not like this is a thing done to them by vicious, violent, evil bastards. It's they get raped. Just like,
it just
you
happens.
get a bag of chips, you get raped, whatever. Like, it's just, you're drinking, so it's your fault, ladies. Like, in what other crime is that ever done? I think I've mentioned this last time, didn't I, when we talked about this? You don't do that with like a knife crime. You don't say, "Oh, well, he was having a drink, therefore it's he just got stabbed." Like, no, you say, "Oh, that's awful. He got fucking stabbed. I hope they caught the bastard who stabbed him."
Yeah,
like that's you know what I mean?
No, exactly. I know what you mean, because even if she went out and got blindingly drunk and passed out 5 times next to her boyfriend, and he had sex with her when she was passed out, she woke up the next day suspicious, but she wasn't sure because she couldn't remember, that would still be rape. That would still be rape. And if it happened 5 times, it would be 5 counts of rape. That's what he should be thinking.
Yeah, but what does that really mean, Kristi? What does "I was raped 5 times" mean?
Yeah.
Maybe she's talking, I don't know, maybe that's some sort of cryptic, I don't know, fucking recipe for an egg salad. I don't know.
It's such a complicated sentence compared to the sentences that he waffles on about, like in front of Zizek, embarrassingly admitting he hadn't read Marx except for once when he was 17, until the night before their debate.
Yeah, when he produces shit about the lobster hierarchies and the dragon of chaos and fruit face theory, that's really easy to understand. That's really straightforward. But "I was raped 5 times." Cryptic. Jesus Christ, that's like the one clue in the cryptic crossword you can't possibly get.
Well, and
evil bastard. Sorry,
what kind of stuff? No. But what kind of stuff do you think he'll be? I guess what I was saying is, do you think this is the sort of stuff that'll be featuring on his new social media network or platform that he announced recently?
Well, I dare say. Although very possibly the thinky spot for the big-brained thinky boys and their thinky ideas.com.
Yeah.
That's definitely that'll be the kind of content, the kind of quality content. And they're already like, this is built as like the free speech zone people. For a start off, we've already talked in the past about how Jordan Peterson has deplatformed people like Faith Goldie, which is fine by me. I think you should deplatform her. She's fucking garbage. But the point is, he doesn't have the best record on this, and they've already revealed that they're going to do a kind of weird shadow banning based on popularity thing, where comments that get upvoted will be okay, but the least upvoted ones will be shadow banned.
Free speech,
so
man.
They're gonna. So it's not only is it some sort of weird that's free speech thing, but inevitably when Nazis flood in there, they're going to upvote the Nazi shit. Yep. So it's just going to become Nazi Patreon.
The Nazi point. Was it
Nazi instead of point. When big-brained Nazis do Nazi ideas.com.
And then they're not gonna. They also said they weren't gonna kick anybody out unless they were ordered to do so by a U.S. court. So now they're not going to be able to kick all these white supremacists out.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Oh, that's so strange.
Oh.
Yeah, they're full of shit. Basically, is the general point that we tried to make.
Yeah. No, Benjamin Esser in the chat says, unless the left takes it over. No, let it go down like the Titanic. Let that thing be a flaming wreck that is a warning to anyone else who wants to side with free speechers that somehow you're not going to attract a bunch of Nazis.
And also, when we say free speechers, we don't mean people who actually like free speech.
No.
We mean like the freeze peach warriors.
The people who use free speech in order to defend fascists, not criticize them. Those are the kind of people we're talking about.
Yeah, any criticism of any using of your free speech to criticize fascists is trying to silence the fascists. That's the kind of people we're talking about.
Like Sargon.
Idiots who don't know what fucking free speech is. Although he's definitely read Conquest of Bread. Definitely. That definitely happened. Honest. It was between his 941st and 942nd reading of Starship Troopers. that week. Yeah.
So yeah, let's watch that flaming pile of garbage.
Yeah, and I was
take a light.
I was just gonna say we don't need to take the things but over, because our communist friends at YouTube and Patreon and the BBC will protect us completely. There'll be no repercussions. It's not like there are loads of leftist channels that have been closed down over the years and the right don't give a shit, and that I've been demonetized and they don't largely give a shit. One or two exceptions, I will absolutely say. I'll give them that. There are one or two who genuinely hold the line. Now, whilst I disagree with the line, they do hold it, so at least that's consistent. That's something.
Or they're using you for cover. That's my idea. They're using you for cover. We're not all like, look at this leftist that we're talking to. I mean, not
possibly, but they haven't made...
We're citing him.
Yeah, possibly. Oh, okay, that's a possibility, but I'm prepared to give them at least the benefit of the doubt.
All right, well,
I will give them that.
I won't. I'm too
that's
political.
Well, that's the difference between being the most evil person in the world and the second most evil.
Yeah. It's a thin line, I have to say.
It is, but I mean, that's when you get to the top level, the difference between the top like 5 evil people in the world.
Threads.
Yeah, you can fit a piece of paper between each one of them. It's just,
And that's ours.
Indeed.
Mm.
So, are we basically done?
I ran out of stuff. That's it. We're done now. That wasn't such a long show.
Well, you say we've run out of stuff. It's still 2.5 fucking hours.
That is a pretty long show.
Like, we've done. Yeah, that's not that's definitely, I think, more than 1 hour, 2.5.
Last time I checked, it would be greater than.
But again, using the Jordan Peterson thing, what does that even mean? 5 hours? I don't know. Is that like 1 hour times by 5 or so? I don't know. I don't know how this works.
Shit. Oh, he's shit.
He really is. That's so bad. Shit. Like we say, I'm surprised because when I got around to reading it, I thought to myself, well, there's not going to be anything that bad in there. Otherwise, you'd have heard about it, right? Like, there's loads of reviews and stuff. And no one even fucking mentioned that.
Never.
I didn't even hear that for ages.
I mean, it is number 9. It is number 9.
Well, it is, but there's... Yeah,
you have to read pretty far into the book.
Exactly. You can't just read the headlines.
No.
And that's why the right wing didn't mention it, because they didn't know it was there.
Right.
They just read, oh, clean your room. Okay. Rim a lobster. Good. This is all classic stuff.
But really, I would take that quote from his book and put it on a poster and protest if he was going to appear anywhere that I was associated with. Women go out and then they get drunk and then they get raped. Are you kidding me? How is he
allowed to teach at university when we know that obviously, students like to go out and have a drink.
Yes.
Unfortunately, some get raped, right? So it's a thing that we know happens, and it's a thing that universities have, certainly here in Britain, been trying to tackle. So why they would ever invite Jordan Peterson to teach, especially because his ideas aren't anything. His ideas
they're not
rubbish. Have you seen those weird diagrams he put in the maps of meaning?
It's such nonsense.
It's just gobbledygook.
People want to come at me about social science. Gibberish. You can't be a fan of Jordan Peterson and come at me about social science. Get the fuck out of here.
Well, that's the thing.
Shit.
You do actual social science. He does weird drawings with lines going from like fucking Yahweh to the Chaos Dragon. To
right, yes. And 2 diagrams that are basically identical. What's going on? It's nonsense.
But he was going to do 5 of them, but that would have confused him, because what would that mean? Who knows?
Yes, it's such an unfathomable number.
By things. He's confused by multiples of 5. God. That's his problem, I think.
He's just he's really trapped in his little, like, man world. He really has a lack of empathy.
He's just a nasty bastard for a start, right? And he's stuck in a world. He's basically the old man who's stuck in the world, but he's been given a platform. And so instead of just being a grumpy old prick who lives down the road and goes on about, oh, look at the black people with their trousers are sagging. I can see their buttocks. Oh my God. And he's doing that on like a worldwide level and going, look at the women. They've got the fucking fruit faces. It's ridiculous. They look like harlots. Like it's.
Do you want to hear something ridiculous? There's actually a city somewhere in the South, of course. Not to say that the North isn't racist. The North has got big racism problems, but this legislation seems to always.
Say Donald Trump's from New York, so
yeah, exactly. But they had basically made a city ordinance that if a young man was walking around with the belt of his jeans below his buttocks, he would face like $100 fine and 30 hours of community service. They were close policing young black men. Yeah.
If you're young, black, and male, they're coming for you.
You want to talk about freedom of expression?
Obviously prejudicial.
Yes, of course. I don't even know how that's constitutional. If I eat ass is a free speech right for a white guy, then surely wearing your jeans where you want to is just freedom of expression for every American. Come on.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that underwear is somehow obscene when we have people in bikinis and swimming in Speedos at beaches, and you can walk down the street in a swimsuit and you're not going to get arrested. So why would you get arrested for, showing up, with the label of your jeans and the top of your underwear? Come on. Ridiculous. Yeah. Sorry, I had a little rant there.
Absolutely. No, that's absolutely correct. Yeah, I have nothing to disagree with you on
there. just let her go.
There are some people. It seems like some people in America are kind of still living in the Dred Scott era, where black people don't really deserve rights. So fuck it, we'll police them how we like.
It's just crazy to me. And when we talk, about the state policing black bodies, that's what it's not like. It was directed at people. Clothing, because black people wore that clothing style. It's directed at their bodies. That's ridiculous. Sorry, it's just
absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, well, Kevin, what is coming up?
You needn't apologize. You're absolutely correct.
Okay, yeah, you're right. I am. I can be angry about this. Frustrated that this is not a constitutional case before the Supreme Court. But moving on, what is coming up on your channel? Because we should wrap this up. I forgot that I was running the show. Yeah. I'm so used to you hosting.
Yes. Yeah.
I want to get off air and do our chat afterwards. So I want to wrap this up.
yeah. That's when the fun starts. This is just a warm up. This is a 2.5 hour warm up, motherfuckers. Yes. Anyway, what's coming on my channel? I'm making very slow but steady progress on the next Prager FU video, which will be, I think, quite good. There are some spicy jokes in that one, but I'm not getting monetized, so I don't fucking care. I'm still working on the Sargon thing. I've had to download the videos in advance because I'm thinking to myself, if it takes 2 or 3 weeks to put that video up, he might not be around in 2 or 3 weeks, so I need to download those videos now.
So that's what you've been doing.
Would be amazing. yeah. So I've done some of that. I think I've got a couple more to download, but whatever. I've got the bulk that I need, so that's fine. But that'll be 2 or 3 weeks. So we've probably got about another half a dozen fucking happy hour episodes between now and then. But that's about it. Don't think I've got anything else planned. But yeah. So what have you got planned on your channel, Kristi?
I've got my Sunday live stream. PragerU seems to be now a staple. I'm still too tired to come up with original content. And it's also a nice kind of relaxing thing to do on a Sunday. Now I have taken to, rather than just live reacting, I've decided it's better if I watch it through once. Also, I'm going to start using Wikipedia a lot more, rather than in my research, because it's an easy way to get to some good basic factual information.
Wikipedia is run by the communists.
Of course it is. Yes.
Outrageous. But
what
more would I expect from the general?
Also, when I'm talking about comparing PragerU to Wikipedia, come on, who's more credible?
Yeah, exactly.
In that situation. So I'm
literally, you started off by talking about you were doing a reaction to a fucking Dinesh D'Souza video. So yeah, Wikipedia is a perfectly acceptable rebuttal.
The convicted liar, convicted felon.
The fucking shit smeared rantings of a criminal on the fucking cell wall is an adequate rebuttal to Dinesh D'Souza, which is ironic because he was in fucking prison.
Yes, and in this case, it's he served a sentence, but the thing is that he got convicted for lying, right? So he's got a trust gap there. That is my point. He lied so much, he went to jail for it. He was so deceptive about spreading money around.
And he got what do you call it from Donald Trump, didn't he? He got a not acquittal. What's it called?
Pardon.
Pardon.
Yeah.
Which tells you all you need to know. If you're getting a pardon from Donald Trump, you are a dishonest motherfucker.
Yes. Yes. Him and Joe Arpaia.
Yeah, exactly. The man who basically killed a prisoner.
Right. So
because he was under his control. So I mean, you might say it was manslaughter. I'd say it's murder, but that's fine apparently. Yeah.
But
again, racialized policing.
Mm-hmm. But getting back, to PragerU. So I'll watch it once through before and kind of plan a response. Also, I was trying for it to take 30 minutes instead of 40 minutes, but you just have to break down so much of their bullshit.
Yeah.
It's so it works out to about 8 minutes of explanation to 1 minute of PragerU bullshit. Because it's about a 5-minute video and it takes me 40 minutes to get through them.
Yeah.
Like 3 weeks in a row now.
Horrific.
Yeah.
Well, go and watch Kristi's breakdowns of PragerU stuff. It's very fun. She's away with the words, that one.
Yeah, well, and I'm sure we're going to do the same content, but we have very different takes, and I want to hear your take, and hopefully you'll enjoy mine as well. So yeah, it's just fertile ground, and maybe through the summer I'll just keep binging on some PragerU for one of the hours, and then do some other stuff for the rest of the show. But
don't, because you'll go native, and I'll turn up one day, and you'll be like, "Abortion is the devil."
That will so not happen. It is so entertaining and especially now that I'm catching on to their lazy narrative, it'll be easier to take it apart. But yeah, so come by on Sunday, noon my time. Just figure out where you are from the live stream time clock thing that counts down. So thank you to my co-host, Kevin, for another great show. This is so much fun.
Thank you for having me.
I always will. I'll have you anytime, Kevin. Thank you to people in the chat for coming by and spending this time with us. And thank you to the people in the future who watched this all the way to the end of the video because you were waiting for Kevin to say
the future are evil.
Insults. Oh, and HK320 in the super chat. You didn't say anything or ask for a question or anything. So I'll have to give you the hug on the Sunday stream because
that person's evil too.
There you go. There's the highest compliment from Kevin. He calls me the worst person in the world, so you know how he works. So goodbye from me and goodbye from Kev. Say goodbye. Kev?
Goodbye. Kev.
You did the bit.
I did the bit.
Bye, guys.